Sorry for the delay in getting started. Let's jump right into it. The first pillar of the MOASS that I want to address. Well, let's let Thomas James tell us, okay? Citadel is just about to go
Today, I want to
bankrupt.
talk about how Citadel Securities is just about to go bankrupt and how there'll be massive liquidations coming. Right now, Citadel's entire business model doesn't make sense, so I want to explain how it's rumoured that Ken Griffin is
It
hiding his
doesn't make
losses and
sense,
how he will
really.
be
Hmm.
liquidated. So stay tuned and let's make some money. And now I want to
All
dive straight
right.
in with the key information. So, the question is Ken Griffin admitting that he can't survive 2023 by posting incredible 2022 returns? This user
What?
says when coming to this conclusion, I factored in four things. Citadel makes a commission from their returns and probably gets temporarily locked out from making commissions if losses start appearing. Many hedge funds
What?
make, say, 2 and 20 return, aka they take 2% of their clients' assets every single year as management fees and 20% of all of their profits generated. Therefore, if Citadel isn't generating any profits, they don't get to keep any money. And if they start making losses, they may have to make profits in the future and break even before they can actually start taking their clients' profits. Therefore, Ken Griffin is seemingly hiding his losses and just showing returns for his clients, so Citadel keeps that 20%. But maybe Citadel's
What?
clients are already aware of these losses, and that's why Citadel is limiting the client withdrawals. Their clients have already withdrawn
Droll.
the maximum they could, and Kenny knew that in advance, and that's why he limited the withdrawals and why he's now trying to hide the losses.
Model 3
So,
dude
as a
got it
market
right.
maker or short hedge fund, their returns are mostly unrealized and can be adjusted by adjusting liabilities, aka they can recognize their gains and leave their losses as unrecognized. The losses have still
What?
occurred, but because they haven't closed out of the trade, they haven't recognized the losses and they haven't reported them.
Okay,
And he added saying they
this colluding or confusing of market makers and hedge funds really needs to stop. This really needs to stop. As a market maker slash short hedge fund, no, these are two different functions in the market. They're two different functions in the market. Market makers, liquidity providers, uh, somebody has to be on the other side of the trade. Somebody has to sell to you or buy from you. That's a market maker. That's a market maker. And at the end of the day, they are a trading firm, but their goal is to be neutral. Their goal is to be delta neutral. They're not trying to make money on the trades. They're making money on the spread. It's a big difference. Big difference. Uh, Hedge funds or short hedge fund, which Citadel has many hedge funds. It's not just one hedge fund. And as far as I know, because we see long positions recorded by Citadel advisors and their other entities, they're not strictly a short hedge fund. Anyway, hedge funds are not trading with the goal of remaining neutral. They are trying to profit from their trades. This is one of the dumbest things. And it shows that the apes and whoever, these grifters, really, it originates from these grifters. They don't understand and they have no desire to understand. That's really I can understand I can understand not understanding to a point, but I can't understand not desiring to understand. That is unforgivable. It's unforgivable. Why do you keep why do you keep say what for? No, they aren't. And he has 65 billion of sold but not bought. OJ, okay. Are you an accountant? Are you an accountant? Have you ever studied accounting? Have you ever looked up what sold but not actually that's not even the correct terminology. Securities sold, not yet purchased. Do you know what that means? Do you know what that means? Have you ever looked into it or have you only relied on Reddit, YouTube, and Twitter? Um, there's no proof in anything that you just said, OJ. No proof. Because the reality is, securities sold, not yet purchased, is simply the way that. See, this is the problem right here. You have people like OJ who can read. He can read, okay? OJ, congratulations. You can read. You know what these words mean, okay? But the problem is, you are stepping into a world that you have no clue about, okay? That's not an insult. That's not an insult at all. A lot of people don't know a lot of things about a lot of different subjects, myself included, okay? But you can make an effort to understand rather than jumping to a conclusion. And in this case, securities sold, not yet purchased. Do you actually think? I mean, here's the thing. Do you actually think, let's say for 2 seconds here, that you're right, okay? That they have all this liability. First of all, we know that's not true because Citadel posted record profits, and I'm talking about the market maker, not the hedge fund. The market making firm posted record profits. Now, unless you think that one of the top market making firms, trading firms in the market today, unless you think that they are actually going to lie and report, post fraudulent financial statements, earning statements, okay? Unless you actually think that, which by the way, these statements are audited, they're audited. You know what that means? It means that somebody else looks at it and says, "Yeah, that's good. You guys are great. You guys are good. Whatever it is. Did you make money? Cool. Did you lose money? Cool." Okay? Now, we know that they posted record profits, and we're not talking about FTX. Don't change it. This is the problem. That's a straw man argument. Okay? What you're telling me by saying this is that you have no argument. When you change the subject, that means you have no argument. So I'm going to stop right there. I have a video, I have a stream on securities sold, not yet purchased, where I actually go through what that means. I actually go through what it means with a source, with sources, and you can learn what it means. But it doesn't mean what you think it means. It doesn't mean what you say that you think it means. It just doesn't. That's incorrect. And if you're basing any decisions off of that, this is the point of my channel, okay? By the way, this is exactly the point of what I am trying to do here. There is so much misinformation that is accepted as reality, as fact. People are making decisions based on these facts. So somebody heard, hey, Citadel has all these things that they sold, but they didn't purchase. You know what? Ah. And then people go out and buy or whatever, make trading decisions based on that information. And that information is not correct. So doesn't it make sense to get the correct information? Doesn't it, or are people so far, so deep in this that they don't want to know? And I suspect that that's the case for at least a lot of these people, but I'm sorry. Um, AMC tokens, 1-to-1 AMC, that's for shortage AMC in the fucking ground. No, I mean, there's no evidence for that. There's just no evidence for that. Yeah. Okay, look, OJ, all right. Here's what you just did, all right? You said that FTX did fraud, okay? You said that FTX did it and got away with it for a long time. You admitted that FTX did fraud, right? So now you're saying that you believe FTX though when they say that they had these tokens and you believe that they were shorting them or whatever with them. Okay. Do you see the fallacy there? You said that FTX did fraud. Now you're saying, oh, but FTX said that they had this. And so I'm going to believe them because it's convenient to my argument. No, that's not how it works. Not how it works. All right. So anyway, yeah, stop talking and listen. You're not going to convince anybody of anything here. It's like the difference between a hedge fund and a market maker. What's the difference between a hedge fund and a market maker? On Scotty's channel, Don't try to convince the host of what you believe. Okay, that's the difference. And if you don't get it, well, think about it for a second.
The GameStop and AMC short positions are likely profitable right now, and they can increase their unrealized returns by shorting it more, but they can never truly close out of that position and recognize those gains and survive. Obviously, if Citadel tried.
Why not? Why not? I mean, first of all, the market maker, again, going back to what I was saying before, that distraction, that orange juice distraction. Okay, um, a market maker is not establishing short positions for trading purposes in terms of establishing a position. They, in terms of they think the stock will go down, so they're going to short sell it and hold on to it, let it go down, and then buy it back. Market makers don't do that. They just don't. They don't do that. The only reason that they would take a trade on long or short side is to even out, to balance out what they have had to do in order to fill customer orders. So you come along and you say, I want to buy 10 shares of AMC. Okay, so they sell you 10 shares of AMC. What's the opposite side of that trade? So they sell you 10 shares of AMC. They're only going to deal with 10 shares of AMC on the other side to balance it out so that if AMC goes up, they don't lose money. If AMC goes down, they don't lose money. Okay, here you go with FTX again. Like, I don't care about FTX. We've already said, yeah, the CEO is in jail on fraud charges. So that's false at this point. Like, you can't like, here's the thing. You can't say, "Oh, I'm gonna trust this person when they say this, but not when they say that," when conveniently the thing that you're trusting them on supports what you already believe. That's not proof. It's not proof. Um, by the way, Model 3 dude, good evening. Lynn, fuck fact. Good evening. Chris, good evening. Um, Manny's here somewhere, maybe, or maybe he while I was wrangling out of witness protection, slipping out the back. He got impatient. So anyway, good evening, guys. How you doing? And truth be told, I was doing some cleaning, so I was running the vacuum, and when I run the vac, it's serious business. So anyway, very important to keep everything vacuumed, keep the dust, allergens, toxins, all that stuff. You wouldn't believe what you breathe. Look at the vacuum bag. Look at the dust cup, whatever you have. That would be in your it anyway. I'm not going to go on a soapbox about cleaning, but anyway. Um, so they can increase their unrealized returns by shorting it more, but they can never close the position and survive. That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. Eh, It's hard to even really conceptualize what they're trying to say if they admit that the GME short position is likely very profitable right now. Okay, so um, if the position is profitable, then they would take profit by buying the stock back. Of course, that's going to make the price go up. But if they're very profitable, why would it? Why would that? Why would, it just doesn't make sense. It makes no sense. Let's see. Please explain one thing. Then, okay, I will explain this one thing if you shut up for the rest of the stream. Now, I need to get confirmation on that this is the last time that you are going to bring up some distraction and use terms like fuck fact. I mean, come on, fuck fact. Please explain one thing. Then virtual basically said, I don't know what that means in live TV that they were make an affinity shares. Say what to buy. They only have 10, and you want to buy 100 and they can make them come out of, okay, you're probably talking about market maker naked shorting. And this is something that is, it's not nefarious in any way. It's actually it's legal, okay? And it's not naked shorting like Thomas James and Boss Blunts and Trey Collins say. And it's not fraud. It's 100% legal. It happens on every stock. It happens on every stock. You know what also is a part of that regulation? They have to buy the shares basically immediately within a couple minutes, and they do. So, I mean, that is a complete non-issue here. If you want to talk about whether that should be allowed or not, that's a different conversation. That's a different conversation. It has nothing to do with AMC or GameStop. Okay. It has nothing to do with those particular stocks. That's how the market is structured. That's the market structure. That's how the market is set up. It is not anything special about AMC or GameStop or Bed Bath and Beyond or anything. Okay? That's very important to keep in mind here. What OJ is talking about is the way that market off exchange market makers fill orders. And in order to provide liquidity, okay, um, I'm not even gonna touch the 30 million billion synthetic shares. Do you realize that that's what you said here? 30 million billion synthetic shares. What is a million billion? I'm not even sure. I mean, I'm sure that somewhere somebody believes that there is 1 million billion synthetic shares. Jesus Christ. 30 million billion. I don't know. Somebody who's smarter. Thank you, Len. Like we're going to address synthetic shares or whatever, synthetics um eventually. But I mean, come on. Like the these are the most base conspiracy theories that you could come up with. Oh, they're selling counterfeit shares. They don't have them. They're just selling me counterfeit shares. I went to Blockbuster and rented a movie and I paid with a $100 bill and it was only $7 and they gave me back change. They gave me counterfeit money. That's what they're saying. Anyway. So anyway, this doesn't make sense. And yeah, well, let's just keep going on this.
Closing out of their short positions, it would cause the GameStop and AMC squeezes, and their entire hedge fund would be liquidated. Therefore, their whole
Let me just say this too, relative to what Tom is saying here. Thomas James is saying here. There's no evidence. There is zero, and Manuel likes to say this, and it's true. It's absolutely true. There is zero evidence that Citadel is shorting AMC or GameStop. There is no evidence. We have no actual evidence that supports the claim that Citadel has massive short positions on AMC or GameStop. And really, we could end the stream right here because the MOASS, quote unquote, depends on that. It depends on that. It depends on someone having a massive short position with naked shorts and synthetic shares. Synthetics. You know who came up with fucking synthetics? Lou, as far as I could tell. Wasn't it Lou who came up with synthetics? The convicted fraudster. Again, look, to OJ and all the other OJs out there. what you believe was programmed into your head by a convicted fraudster, by YouTubers who have since left. They left. They're not even on YouTube anymore. The guys who came up with this shit, they're not and pushed it and programmed the apes. They're not even on YouTube anymore. Think about that. The people who came up with this shit, they stand by it so little that they have already fucking left and they don't stand by what they have basically propagandized. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The fact that somebody would do that, I mean, they're grifters, they're liars, they're frauds. They all belong in jail, if you ask me. Or at the very least, these assholes like Trey Collins, saggy eye Trey Collins. I wish he would bring back the fucking eye patch. It was just hilarious. Droopy eye. Or Matt Cole's eyebrow. Those eyebrows, those teeth. Ugh. Lou versus Wall Street himself. Lou, convicted fraudster. You know, take your pick. They've all left, and they all made a shitload of money off of this group of investors by lying to them. So at the very least, if they're not going to be in jail, I can accept the fact that they're not going to jail. I know that. They should be forced to give back their ill-gotten gains, and they are ill-gotten. I will stand by that. I will stand by that. They got that money not from trading, not from trading AMC that they pumped relentlessly. They got it from the lies themselves. The ad revenue, the super chats, the Discord memberships, and all that bullshit. That's money that retail investors gave up, gave to these clowns on false pretenses because they were spewing misinformation. How is that not ill-gotten? How is that not fraud? It is fraud, 100%. And Thomas James is as guilty as any of those clowns. This guy, however, he belongs in
Holding
Guantanamo.
on to those unrealized losses, they're holding on to their unrealized AMC and GameStop gains and only realizing some of their profits to show to clients while holding back that wave of losses.
Sounds like he's alleging that Citadel is engaged in fraud. I mean, there's absolutely zero evidence of anything that he's saying. Starting with, where is the evidence of AMC and GameStop short positions by Citadel? And by the way, we have to be talking about the hedge fund, which is not a short hedge fund. We have to be talking about the hedge fund because market makers don't establish short positions for trading purposes. So we have to be talking about the hedge fund. The hedge fund posted record profits as well. So, and again, that's audited. Those are submitted to the SEC. It's public record. He's alleging that they're lying, that it's a fraud. I mean, there's only one fraud that I see here.
And this user said if you were faced with these factors and wanted to run your fund,
This user, yeah, this user, some random ass user who sat down, smoked a blunt, and came up with this fucking bullshit. This is drug induced fucking delirious fucking bullshit. Period.
for as long as possible
Nonsense.
into the future, you'd post near 0% returns, which would hurt your commissions and the amounts you could keep from your clients, but you'd also limit client withdrawals. But he said if you knew this year would be your last and that you couldn't close out of tons of your positions.
Oh God, look at that fucking bullshit straw man argument. If you knew this year would be your last, or lost, as he says, you would try to get as much money from your fund while you can. That makes, I mean, this is like these people wouldn't last 1 week in a college logic class, or fuck, a college English composition class. These motherfuckers, this type of ridiculous logical mental gymnastics wouldn't last wouldn't last 2 days. Wouldn't last 2 days in an actual college class. I mean, this is ridiculous. Horrible.
In the entire fund, you try and get as much money from your clients while you still can. By showing massively overinflated profits, Citadel can keep 20% of those profits and only return the remaining 80% to their clients. But obviously, if Citadel is keeping 20%,
What
20%
what a
of
what a
nothing is
ridiculous
still
notion.
nothing.
That's
Therefore, Citadel
absurd.
showed a massively overinflated return figure to keep as much money as
Figure.
possible. And another user also added saying, I read all of these posts, and most seem to be devoid of the fact that Citadel Securities, the
Most of them seem to be devoid of facts. Most of them are devoid of facts. Okay.
market maker, is a separate business from Citadel LLC, the hedge fund.
Okay, that's true. Remember, we talked about that just a few minutes ago. Yes, Citadel Securities is a separate business from Citadel LLC.
He said, what I find most interesting is that the investment side supposedly only has 19 clients.
Why is that? What that says to me is that this OVAD 67 has no fucking clue about any of this shit. 19 clients, you think that that's odd or interesting, I guess. That's how these things work. It's not like it's something that anybody can invest in. I mean, the capital requirements alone, first of all, you have to be a qualified investor, which automatically knocks out 99.9% of retail investors. So, and then I don't know what their actual requirements are beyond being a qualified investor, but Jesus, no, they would not. Model 3 dude, they wouldn't hold water in any high school debate team, and certainly not yours. Holy shit. I wouldn't want to be on that team. I wouldn't want to be on the well, I wouldn't want to be on that team or the opposing team. But you're right. It is only about the clicks. But the thing is, we saw that OJ Murray, whatever, no, OJ Newton, he's not alone in believing this. That's the problem at this point, and I realize that, we're pissing into the wind here, so to speak. I know that. I'm pissing into the wind. I'm getting it all over me. It's coming right back at me. I'm fine with that. Okay. I'm fine with that because I'm drinking a lot of water. And number two, it has to be said. It must be called out. I don't care. I don't care. I'll get pissed all over me myself. If that's what it takes, it has to be called out. It's always repackaged and put in various creative ways. They come up with all of these creative ways to say it, and the most creative, catchy, gotcha zingers are the most popular. But it's at the end of the day, it's all the same crap. And it's those zingers, yeah, absolutely designed as clickbait to get clicks, to get money for these grifters. Um, let's see. Any thoughts on future of Bed Bath stock? I don't know. I haven't looked at it lately, but that the company. So, um, what's going on with the company? What's going on with the company? The company is not doing so hot, right? From what I understand, right? Um, let's see here. Um, well, let's see here. Let's go to daily. So I think what you're seeing here, I mean, this is pretty clear to me. You've got this massive zone of overhead supply in here. Um, take that back. I'm gonna bring it down even in here. So you've got this massive zone of overhead supply. And what does that mean? It means that you had all these buyers. I mean, let's put on a volume profile here. Visible range. Oops. I hate how it does that. Oh, okay, what are we looking at here? September, because this goes back to July or so, and that's probably a little bit too far. Let's say like this 22. I mean, even just this much right here, we're going back to like September of last year. Um, green is buy, red is sell volume over here. So, look at how much buying was at these levels here. So what I'm saying is, here's what I'm saying. All right. And you can play around with volume profile. It's pretty cool. You can see, you know, were there more buyers at these price levels? Were there more sellers, etc. But at the end of the day, um, and this is the GameStop squeeze here. So this is the GameStop squeeze, right? This is the AMC squeeze, and yes, I'm calling it that. That is the AMC squeeze right there. And then these are just various bear market rallies here, because I almost guarantee if we put on like the SPY and compare it, what we would see is matching spikes in the overall index. So here's this spike, here's a spike in the SPY. Here's this spike, here's a spike in the SPY. So what do we got right now? Same damn thing. We got this spike, we got this spike in the SPY. So you're asking what the future of the stock is. Um, well, most things follow the index. Um, so there's that, and we see that it does for the most part. Well, let's put on the Nasdaq. Oh shit. Let's put on the Nasdaq 100 and the QQQ in ETF, and we see the same thing. In fact, it's a lot closer in some places. Um, these spikes, they match up. So these are short covering rallies, bear market rallies, whatever you want to call them. And this is same thing here. Same thing here, most likely. Now I'll preface, I guess, I'll have a postlude here and say that nobody really knows, but we can, probabilities point to, because of the way things are and the way things move, that this is likely a bear market rally. It's a short covering rally. So I mean, what do you think is going to happen? What happened every other time in a bear market with a company that is uh, trying to find a buyer or lender in bankruptcy talks? Um, could it go up? Sure. I mean, anything could. Could it go up massively? I mean, it's it's not at it's essentially, I mean, like this is COVID. This is the COVID crash right here. This is the COVID crash. So it is essentially like near the bottom of the COVID crash. That's where the price is right now. So um, I think the short sellers won that one. People saying it might go to the moon like GameStop. I mean, GameStop is, I guess you have to believe that GameStop is going to the moon, first of all. But you know, I guess if you believe that GameStop is going to the moon, then sure. Bed Bath and Beyond's going to the moon too. But Shadow Stars, it's happening. Um, Going to file bankruptcy. Look at Party City. Yeah, look at Party City. Yeah, you know what? That's a fun one. This is it, right? NYSE to suspend trading immediately in Party City Holding Company and commence delisting proceedings. This is today, this evening. Ooh, that sucks. That sucks. So it wasn't that long ago that this stock was $10. $10. Well, this is this is the game. This is the AMC squeeze. Oops, it's the AMC squeeze there, and it's just been terrible since. But look at that. God damn. Um, yeah, of course. Look at all this trading volume. Um, let's see, 32 million, and that's probably it. So a lot of these, a lot of these companies, these brick and mortar companies, they are they're just old fashioned. They're not going to make it, and that's okay. That's fine. That has to happen. We can't have all these zombie companies. Bed Bath& and Beyond will file before the close of the fiscal year. 2 days ago, both AMC and GME were trading opposite the market. Yeah, it happens. But I mean, Bed Bath has done what they could to try and save the company, but its time has been running out. Yeah, Bed Bath& and Beyond has a pretty big meme stock group on Reddit right now, 45 members right now. I mean, so what? I mean, that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, fundamentals are going to win, and this company is dying. I mean, yeah, you might have some irrationality. You might have some, retail, and you might have some, pumping and dumping going on. But um, at the end of the day, if the company is not doing well, that's gonna. I mean, you can't fight that. You can't really. I mean, in my opinion, it would be foolish. So anyway, Bed Bath and Beyond shit company. Look at all these missed earnings. Look at all these missed earnings. And even before the pandemic, it was hit or miss. Really was. I mean, they did pay a dividend all the way up until 2020. Um, looks like 16 cents, 17 cents. But it just right. The meme stock era is over. Okay, like that's so 2021. Meme stocks are dead. Yeah, they're like fish out of water flopping around a little bit, but they're dead. Like this is we are not I we're not in the environment for that at all. How was GameStop bull rally scenario different than Bed Bath and Beyond in my opinion? Um, you mean the January 2021 GameStop squeeze? Like that that was the original meme stock event, essentially. Um, that's where you did see hedge funds and other market participants get caught with their pants down. But as far as I can tell, since then, that's not happened, and I don't believe that it will because, well, two big reasons. Number one, these firms are, you know, they take this shit seriously. This is what they do. So they have people managing risk, and if something's not on their radar, like 20 January 2021 was, if it's not on their radar, I guess so. There's three big reasons. Bad back mentioned the third. something's not on their radar and they get caught with their pants down, okay, fine. They'll take it. They'll take the L. But now it's on their radar. You see what I'm saying? So, number two, all these subreddits, the Bed Bath and Beyond subreddit that you mentioned, and the AMC subreddit that everybody loves to hate, and all these super stonk and all this retarded shit on Reddit. This is all public. It's all public. Uh, Wall Street bets. I mean, okay, may, but now you have all these specialty subreddits. You have all this shit on Twitter. It's all being discussed in public. So there is no element of surprise. There can't be. There cannot be. And number three, as Badback says here, there are no stimulus checks coming. That's where the capital came from that caused those events. 100%. It was because of the easy, free money of the COVID reaction stimulus by the Federal Reserve. And it was inflation is what caused it. Inflation. All the extra money added to the money supply. Now we see interest rates being increased. We see the Federal Reserve taking money out of the system. So that money has to come from somewhere. And crucially, it's not going to individual investors. So for those three reasons, but you know, probably number three is the biggest one, but they all play together because this is crucial too. What allowed the GameStop event in January and the AMC event in June to happen? What the things that came together that precipitated those events? It was a once in a lifetime coalescence of factors, and really it goes back to the pandemic. It goes back to COVID. It goes back to COVID. It goes back to the response from COVID, lockdowns. It's not just one. It's lockdowns, stimulus checks, people at home, trading, and the social aspect, like on Reddit, Twitter, YouTube. All of those things combined, debt, rent forgiveness, the fact that now, hey, now I can do something, irrational with this money. I can gamble with it. That's really what it is. It's gambling. But yeah, it was a confluence of factors that came together in a way that probably has not been seen, and probably, I mean, I don't want to say that it won't ever, but I think that hopefully, hopefully, although I doubt this, we learned our lesson. I doubt it because these cycles happen. However, you might have loosened financial conditions, but you're not going to have lockdowns, stay at home, all that stuff. You're not going to have the COVID thing. And if we have another pandemic, I would hope that the response would be different in many ways. Model 3 dude says Bed Bath, AMC, Redbox, and others were the ugly girls hanging out with GameStop, the pretty girl. So when GameStop ran up, the others got the leftovers. They were wearing beer goggles, right? Um, and I'm not a GameStop purist. I think that all these meme stocks have run their course, and anybody, in my opinion, and the facts bear this out too. But just putting it together here in my sort of our analysis here, anybody who's saying that you know there is uh, the squeeze hasn't happened or that there is going to be another squeeze or anything like that, uh, they have they have another motive. There's some reason that they're saying that. And I can tell you right now, if you look at the people that are saying that, look at their channels, look how popular their channels are, look how many subscribers they have, look how many views they have on their streams, look how monetized they are. There's your reason. That's the reason. So maybe it was different in 2020, the first half of 2021. Maybe that was different. Trey didn't start out as a grifter, I don't think necessarily. These guys, they didn't start out lying. They started out being negligent because they didn't know what they were talking about. I'm not gonna let them off the hook, but they didn't start out, as grifters. They started out reacting to what was going on, making predictions, and sometimes, it's like anything else. I mean, you can be right, you can be wrong. They were right sometimes, they were wrong most of the time. Then they started being wrong all the time. And after about a year of that was when we started seeing them really fall out. That's when Trey fell out. Actually, Matt left first, but anyway, um, GameStop as the gateway drug to retail investing into troubled companies with no true understanding of company value. Yeah, absolutely. Like, it's a shit strategy. Let me be clear. My opinion, and you know, again, the facts I think back this up. If we could know how much money collectively was lost by retail investors on this shit, holy shit. You want to talk about some real transfer of wealth? There it is. I mean, Boss Blunts has $50,000 worth of call options on GameStop, AMC, sorry, expiring on Friday, 2 days from now. 2 days from now, they're going to expire worthless. He's going to lose $50,000. He's like, well, it doesn't matter because I have so many more calls. Like, wow, okay, kind of, kind of antithetical. But anyway, government handed out money to keep people afloat, but we're America, so we went to the casino instead of buying laundry soap. Yeah, Jesus. And the apes would they'd say things like, and I heard Boss Blunt say this kind of shit too. We're gonna buy Play-Doh store. Well, talking to his little daughter. You want some play? We're gonna buy all the Play-Doh. No, we're gonna buy the Play-Doh store. So yeah, we're not gonna buy laundry soap. We're gonna buy Procter and Gamble. We're gonna gamble with our stimmies and then buy Procter and Gamble. How about that? Theta probably ate up already of that 15,000 of that 50K. Think he honestly had more heard along the lines of 100K worth. I'm sure. I'm sure. That wouldn't surprise me at all. And yeah, I mean, it has to be just like I don't know. We don't know what his cost basis is, but wow. See here. Second here. By the way, anybody who's over in Telegram, if you want to jump into the voice channel and come in here, feel free. Feel free. Do it now. I mean, I don't even know what strike price he has. He says that they're on AMC one, so this is the non-standard one, which goes all the way up to think of 140. No, does it? Oh my God. Yeah, it does. It goes all the way up to 145 because these options were the ones that they've been around for a while. So yeah, I mean these things they're already worthless. They're already worthless. They have a zero bid. You couldn't sell them. Look at this open interest of 157,000. So at least 50,000 of those, I guess, are boss blunts. I mean, that's ridiculous. Look at the IV too. Jesus Christ. Um, Only 12,000 open interest on the 140. Go to the 145, 157,000. Holy shit. So let's see, what would it take? What would it take to make these anything at this point? Well, that's $20. Yeah, no. This is at expiration. This is now. So let's see. We can type in a target price. Let's say that it does go to 145. Now, this would be if you bought it today. We don't know what he bought it at, but obviously he bought it at a much higher price. Let's just say, I don't know, $2. It's probably higher than that. It's probably higher than that. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. So whatever. I mean, at expiration, the break even is 147 at that price because you paid $2 for them. That's how irresponsible we are as a nation. So at expiration, you got to be over 145, obviously. But I mean, like, you don't even today, you um, would have to be over like 30 something in order to be like, not negative. And that's just if they would cost $2 a piece. So we don't know what his cost basis was, but they are worthless 100%. 100% worthless right there. Zero bid. Good luck. I mean, you don't even know. I mean, luck has nothing to do with it at this point. You're fucked. Okay. So anyway,
The Citadel hedge fund apparently only
but let me just get back to this here. Hedge funds have very few clients. That's not like that's so stupid to call out. That just means that you've not taken any time to learn about institutional investing and hedge funds and how Wall Street works. That's totally fucking normal.
has 19 investors. He said it's like a slap in the face that the market making function is undoubtedly used to prop up the investment hedge fund.
Straw man argument, no basis for that statement whatsoever. It's like a slap in the face that the market maker function is undoubtedly used to prop up the investment side. That is ridiculous. And again, that shows me that this person has no clue, or they're trying to justify their irrational beliefs that somehow Ken Griffin is the Wizard of Oz here, the Wizard of Oz character. But I mean, prop up the investment side? Prop up the investment side. What does that even mean? How would a market maker prop up an investment side? What this tells me is that they don't know anything. They don't understand the function of market makers and they don't understand the function and purpose of hedge funds. They don't understand shit here. This is
And he said, on
retarded.
top of that, surely nobody at this point would be surprised to learn that the market making side has also been porting cash over to the hedge fund side.
Well, again, they said nobody would be surprised to learn. Well, really, it should say nobody would be surprised if they learned, because this is ridiculous. Again, it's making sort of an implication here, but it's not anything that we have evidence for, and it's not anything that it is nothing. This is somebody shat this out. This is a fucking somebody was mad and they just sat there and typed some bullshit. I almost guarantee it's ridiculous. It's just nonsensical. This person, God help them if they were born in '67. Fuck me. Is that a boomer? Does that count as a boomer? I don't know.
He said, particularly given the recent FTX developments and how
Oh,
FTX is
FTX.
sharing money from FTX to Alameda Research, he would definitely say it's a massive, massive possibility.
Well, it doesn't say a massive, massive possibility. It says definitely yes, Tom. Fucking embellishing the fucking words here. Yeah, we can read. We don't need you to embellish it, fucking wanker. But more importantly here, um, because somebody else was doing something, that means that this other person's probably doing it? What kind of logic is that? What kind of logic is that? Jesus fucking Christ. That is ridiculous. Wow. These people have no critical thinking skills whatsoever.
That this is also occurring in Citadel. He said there's no way Sam Bankman-Fried and his little cabal were able to orchestrate such a mess without governance and direction.
Well, it doesn't say direction here, it just says governance. Um, there's no way. All right, straw man argument. You can't say that kind of shit and be expected to and expect to be taken seriously. You can't. There's no way. We all know. Everybody knows that. No, everybody doesn't know. Gotti doesn't fucking know that because there's no facts to back it up. And if you believe this shit, I'm sorry. You are a sheep. You are a sheep. You have bought into the propaganda. You have bought into the lies. Because a statement with no facts to back it up is a lie.
For example, we know that tokenized shares likely only existed, so these market makers were able to,
He just said it right there. He just said it.
and his little cabal were able to orchestrate such a mess without governance and direction. For example, we know that tokenized shares likely only existed.
We know that. Yeah, do we? We know that. Really, we know that. I don't think we know that. I don't know that. And I've looked for all the evidence. I don't know that. How is it that these clowns who have no ability to discern facts know this when we have been, and not just me, other people in this live chat here, these are, some goddamn diligent people that look this shit up and do and research this shit every day. Honestly, more than I do, more than I have time for personally. But it, you know, we go where the evidence leads. Nobody here would be if there were evidence that came out for that, for any of this, we would report that. That's what we would report. But unfortunately, that's not where the evidence points. So we're reporting where the evidence points. People think that we are like somehow bashing AMC or taking pleasure in saying, "Oh, we're right and you're wrong." Honestly, no. Wherever the evidence goes, that's kind of how you have to be. You have to be realistic. Now, sometimes does it make us chuckle a little bit, like when they say something absolutely ridiculous, and it's like, I don't know how you even are able to wipe your ass and function in society if you have this little critical thinking. Yeah, sure, of course. But I mean, at the end of the day, why just doesn't make any sense. Like, why would anybody spend their time make wow, I'm smarter than an ape, guys. I feel good about myself. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's about calling out these grifters, like Tom Jim here, Tommy Jim, Tom
So
Jimmy,
these market makers were able to bury their synthetic shorts with false locates.
with fault. Where's this? So they're saying that market makers were able to bury the naked shorts, I guess, in tokenized shares. Again, it doesn't work like that. You cannot go from one market. How do you bury a naked short in a crypto market from the equities market? It makes no sense. That's not how it works. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work. Oh, Scott, they use swaps. Oh, swaps. There's no evidence for there's there's no evidence. And there's no evidence that Citadel is even fucking shorting AMC to begin with. So like I said, we could have ended this fucking shit minutes ago, many minutes ago at this point. There's no evidence. There is zero evidence that AMC and GameStop are being shorted by Citadel. I'm going to say it one more time. There is no evidence that Citadel is shorting AMC or GameStop. If you believe that they are, look for some evidence and show us. Let us take a look at it and we'll say, oh, well, look at this. Let me take a look at that. Well, would you look at this? Wow, they are. Oh, would you look at that? But nobody has said that. Nobody has taken the fucking time out of all of these 5 to 10 million apes in Frankie Mohammed's fucking demented ass mind. 5 to 10 million retail investors fighting against the one percenters and the market makers, the hedge funds. Maine, out of all of those people, not one person has taken the fucking time to look into this shit and actually find some fucking hard data to back up the fact that you've put your life savings in this. Are you kidding me? Where did Lynn say this? Where's Lynn's comment? I got to bring it back up here again. Because Jesus, that's how irresponsible we are as a nation, though. It that's how irresponsible we are as a fucking nation, that people are willing to throw their life savings, their kids' college fund, whatever, take out a fucking home equity loan against their equity on their house, borrow money at high interest rates to put into a gamble based on something that they have not taken the time to actually properly research. That is absurd. That I mean, I can't express how absurd that is. I can't. I literally can't. It's unexpressible. And the reason, partially, is because they have assholes like this fucking clean cut motherfucker, Squinty Tom, Squinty Tom, telling them every day that Citadel is about to go bankrupt. When the mother Citadel, who by the way are fucking scoundrels, yeah, they're it's Wall Street. They're fucking scoundrels. I I don't like Wall Street as much as the next guy, but you can't just go around saying that they're fraudulent. They're doing fraud. They're selling me counterfeit shares. They're cheating. You can't just go around and say that with no evidence. It's ridiculous. Yeah, Wall Street is slimy. They're fucking slime balls. They're douchebags, whatever you want to say. But we have a system. We have a system that operates, in a very specific way. And you can either learn that, take the time to learn it, and play in the system the way it is, or you can be like the apes and say, no, that's just, no, well, that's what it says, but that's not what they do because I don't think they do. Fuck off. Go to the fucking casino. If you're going to do that, go to the fucking casino. That's where you belong, not in a place like the market. These grifters that put out lies by pushing out this bullshit false information to take advantage of the global masses should be mouth raped and made to live the rest of their lives with mouth aids. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I'm not going to disagree with you, bad back. I mean, I would be happy with them having to give back 100% of every dime they've made by lying. Because I'm sorry, I'm sorry. You can do a lot of things. You can do a lot of things. You can there's a lot of ways to make money. There's a lot of things you can do as your job, your profession, that are honest. Maybe not the most glamorous, but at least it's honest. You're true to whatever it is that you're doing, and you're providing a real service or product, or you're doing something. You're actually being productive. It's a productive thing. This is not a productive thing. This is the opposite of a productive thing. This has ruined people financially. It has ruined people's understanding and even desire to understand how the markets work. And that is really unforgivable. That is a lifelong fuck in the ass. Let me be clear about this. Thomas James has ruined people. He has ruined their conception of the way this works. He has ruined their ability and desire to take charge of their finances in a responsible way. And that is fucking despicable. And I hate this motherfucker for that. I really do. It's I have no respect for this whatsoever. This fucking grift. It's absurd. It really is absurd. And the fact that they have made all of this money off of this fucking lie. Folks, if you think that that's okay, then you deserve to lose all of your money. What can I say? You got. You're going to get taken. You already did. You already did get taken. Shadow Stars knows folks who were happily selling naked AMC calls for months, 145 calls. They were taking profit on all that premium every single month, guaranteed money, maker like dividends. Yeah. And I say, you know what? Somebody's got to sell them. Somebody's got to sell those calls if the demand is there. But here's what I do have a problem with. People like Roach Capital misrepresenting the option chain. I've been talking about him for the better part of 2 years and his fucking ridiculous takes on the option chain in AMC in the summer of 2021. And I'll be frank. I'll be upfront and honest about this. I don't have any evidence that he was selling calls, but if I were to sell calls and I wanted people to buy the calls that I was selling, I would say and do exactly what Roach Capital did. I would. I would do exactly what he did. I would misrepresent the option chain. I would lie about fundamental concepts of options trading, and I would 100% snatch up that fucking premium, and they would never see it again. Roach Capital. I wish I had thought of that in 2021 when he was actually relevant. Is he around still? I don't know. Good question. I got to remember to see. This is the problem with coming up with these nicknames. I want to type Roach Capital. He's still around, but I don't know if he's talking about this. I can't believe that he would be. See, he was kind of like Matt Kors, but he pivoted to other shit. Like 6 days ago, I mean, he hasn't put out a video, probably because I don't know. This was 30x. Oh, really? And she got a picture of fucking Kathy Wood. What is it? An inverse fucking Kathy Wood ETF? That's 30x right there, at least. Let's see. When was his last fucking AMC video? Jesus Christ. What institutions don't want you to know about dark pools, why they really exist. 4 months ago. Let's do this. I mean, I don't know why it's coming up with this. He must have it in his tags. Probably has it in his keywords in his damn thing. But here's the Marine Entertainment channel, which, by the way, he has an activist channel now too. So he's pivoted from entertainer to activist. He's looking at the
So here's
revenue.
a weekend challenge for you, especially all of the YouTubers, every last one of you. Go ahead and show your status. It's right there on the app, your analytics app, and just show folks what have you been making this
My status, it's complicated.
entire time. You can show them the last 365 days for the entire year, and let us know. Are you really in it for the movement? Are you really in it to make a difference?
The
And that's what I
movement.
keep trying to express to you guys. Once the money becomes involved, their game or their shadow, they're not.
Okay, well, he's not even showing it, so whatever. But yeah. Dave Style. Who's this? Apparently, I watched a little bit of that. Yeah, but yeah, he appears to be here, but he's just not. He's not. He's pivoted, just talking about the basically about the market. Okay, I can't do this anymore. I can't look at this anymore. It's just too stupid.
Purchased and just recognise some of their smaller profits. It seems practically impossible that some of the largest hedge funds and major banks in the entire world were simply not smart enough to somehow outsmart Citadel. And this is all coming at a time where Bed Bath & Beyond, GameStop and AMC are all starting the next run up. We've seen
Wow, he is way out of fucking date. I mean, this came out 10 hours ago. Imagine How would you feel if you said that? If you said that, like, starting the next run up, really? I mean, you show me a run up that's got a fucking red candle there in that position. You show me one, find one where this continued up. I don't see it. I guess maybe here, but it ultimately failed. I mean, no. And I'm not a technical analysis guy, really. But I mean, patterns exist. I mean, you can see. Guess what? Here's a similar type of candle. I mean, kind of similar, very similar here. Guess what happened? Ooh. Oh, whoops. Yeah, no. Um, I mean, yeah, no, I don't think so, Tom. I don't think so. I don't think so, Tim. They all closed down today. Yes, they did. They did. Indeed, everything did. I mean, most everything, not everything, I guess, but almost everything on this watch list that I have here. Look at all this. Everything from Valero, which is gasoline, energy, Apple, of course, the AMC crap, Amazon, Alibaba, Bed Bath and Beyond, CSX, gold. No, actually, yeah, gold did go down. So this is daily. So yeah, I mean, it was yesterday, but that's a 24-hour trader. So GTII, GTII, Coca-Cola, Timken Steel, Timken, hometown heroes here in Ohio, in Northeast Ohio, Timken Steel. If only their options weren't so goddamn illiquid, I would trade their options. Tesla, look at that volume on Tesla. Look at that increase in volume on, yeah. I don't know why I still have this on here. I need to get rid of this. How do I get rid of it? That it was that easy. One button. Delete. Uranium, natural gas, oil, home builders. Yeah, pretty much everything, including, hey, how about this? The 10-year yield also. Go figure. Explain that one. They are referring to the Volkswagen chart with the "you are here" pointing to the beginning. Sadly, the truth it is near the very end. The market did not like the PPI results. Yeah, I thought it did at first. It kind of did. Um, but yeah, it was I was, and I'm so glad that the market turned today. I really, because I was pretty bearishly positioned. So I was down quite a bit in the first couple hours, but then I was like, okay, fine, blow up my account today, I guess. Fine, fine, Ken, take my money. And then next time I looked, I was up big. So I love those days. The swing of emotions is fabulous. Okay. But oh man. Also, so I thought this was interesting here. Mortgage application. Look at the mortgage applications. This is month over month, right? Or monthly, right? Yeah, monthly. So, mortgage applications, oh, it's actually weekly, surged 27.9% in the week ending of last week. The biggest jump since the first week of 2020 as interest rates dropped to the lowest level since September. Okay, so there's that. PPI. And yeah, we were talking about this over in the Telegram chat this morning, and it was like, well, okay, so PPI month over month, producer prices for final demand in the U.S. dropped 0.5% from December. And the market was pumping. So, all right. Bad news is good news. All right. This may be signaling less inflation. 'Cause there's things, but ultimately, and my argument was, well, okay, sure, but that ultimately is going to signal lower earnings. So where's the positive in this? I don't see it. Even in this fucked up market, retail sales down, down. I mean, essentially flat, but it was lower than expectation. Core PPI unchanged. I didn't listen to any of the Fed speeches. Industrial production grew at a smaller, grew at a lower rate. Business inventories were unchanged. Let's see. Crude oil stock change. Consensus was down 1.75 million. It was up by 7.6 million. I mean, that's that's pretty off. That's pretty bizarre. Okay. Anyway, Shadow Stars played contrarian today. It was also what was pumping early. Got some far dated puts like in Gap for June. Market had no choice because the Fed is still going to hike rates up as consumer spending contracts. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Model 3 dude, for realizing, yes, okay, yeah, maybe it will hike at a reduced pace, but it's still going up. 6% inflation is unacceptable. It's unacceptable and it's unsustainable. And, there's another reason right there why your meme stocks are kaput. Okay, now what is this all about Ryan Cohen? I don't trust Thomas James to tell me. Okay, how about this one? Here's a straw man argument right here.
Just recognize some of this.
Here's straw man argument.
Citadel hold, and Citadel has
I guess I
and
should.
has been $1
Oh fuck! I went back.
UBS National.
All right, hear the straw man, and then I'm moving
Doesn't
on.
it seem odd that Citadel is reporting record profits while Tiger Global, BlackRock, Credit Suisse, UBS, National Bank of Switzerland, Goldman Sachs, Wells Fargo, and many others are losing their shares?
Well, one of these things is not like the others. Which one is it? Well, it's Citadel because they're a market maker. What are you talking about? Market maker, hedge fund? What the fuck are you talking about? There isn't a single other market maker on this goddamn list. So you're comparing apples, oranges, and grapes. Okay? Meaningless. Meaningless. Oh, I love when they talk about the market in general.
Considering that Citadel is likely hiding tons and tons of losses as they
Citadel is likely hiding tons and tons of losses. You are a fucking scoundrel. Fucking scoundrel. Yeah, they're likely hiding tons of losses. I mean, Ken Griffin should sue the fucking pants off of this motherfucker right now. Cease and desist. Stop spreading misinformation and lies about my company. Stop it. And I'm not threatening you with legal action because I'm guilty. Like, because I know that's what the apes would think. Oh, well, he has to because he's guilty. No, that's not how it fucking works in the goddamn real world, you fucking children. Fucking children. Okay? And that's why you'll never fucking be rich. You'll never, never be rich. That includes Boss Blunts. It includes fucking Morant's Rants. You will never be rich. You will never be wealthy. Never. Not never. Never. Will never happen. None of these clowns will. I don't know if they will or not. But I can tell you right now, they won't be rich from this.
They seem to
But I wanted to see this.
very interesting time with the S&P 500. Mr. Derivatives tweeted saying the last 3 times the VIX had 4 consecutive days below 20 points was August, April and January of 2022. He said each time the market's topped that
Oh,
between
yeah.
19%.
Oh, the market's going down. Oh, you could, man, I couldn't believe it. Wow. Oh, yeah. I was like, wow, Matt Stoner, you are fucking, mm, look at this clown. Anybody who has a thumbnail like that should just be taken out back and, had a stern talking to. I mean, seriously, why? Why? All right, let's find another. Oh, AB Investments. Let's look at this clown. This guy's like a right-wing conspiracist.
What's up, guys?
So
Welcome
many of
back
these
to another
clowns
episode
are.
of AB Investments. I'm gonna make this as very quick and very as possible, actually. And first, I want to give a shout out to Tony DiNaro for
Oh, God.
inviting me and having me over yesterday. And
Wow. Oh, shout out to Tony DiNaro. Wow, what a guy. What a great guy. Tony Franzetti. Don't you mean Tony Franzetti? Tony DiNaro is not his real name. His name's not DiNaro, it's Franzetti, legally. I'm not doxing him. It's public information. I mean, shit. He builds chicken coops. That's what he does for a living.
I've had an amazing time with him, and obviously the amazing community they have there. Much love. At the end of the day, it's all one family, one love, one movement.
What?
And I was honored to be on that. So I look forward to doing more and more of that.
One family, one love? Boy, you guys are fucking gay.
Future with Tony. And
I'm sorry to any. I don't mean that in that way. You're just a fucking weenie. Look at this weenie with a fucking Bengals hat.
even others.
I can laugh because I'm from Cincinnati.
It's all about
So
the awareness of putting out more and more quality work or DD out there, and learning and teaching
don't fucking smoke a joint before you make a video.
as
Come
we
on.
go along. Now, with that being said, you guys have heard probably watched my video on my channel yesterday, and what it was all about. I mean, the title, for God's sake, said "Market Makers Fingerprints All Over the Market," and
Oh, wow, that's fucking brilliant. Wow, that's fucking brilliant. Why didn't I think of that, bad back? Market makers' fingerprints all over the market. Huh. Wow, how'd you think of that?
doubled down on it later in Tony DiNaro's invitation in their stream, and said what I expected, or what I was looking forward to, and nothing have changed. As you see today, what did we see? Almost the entire market went down. Almost the entire market was pumped.
Oh, say it ain't so. We just talked about likely reasons why. Now, don't fucking tell me that this clown is gonna sit in his fucking car. He's seriously gonna sit in his car and sit there and say that the market maker did fraud and that's why the fucking market went down? Is that where he's going? Please, God, no. No, there's no way he's gonna say that.
Pumped yesterday. Now the entire market is being dumped just within 24 hours. Why is that the case? Well, they're going to try to tell you that it's about inflation worries and the fact that the feds are going to get ready to meet, and
So it's about AMC, obviously. It's about AMC. Oh dear, it's even worse than I thought.
Perhaps there is another rate hike, and the market, because of that, is entirely dumping a day after a whole week of pumping.
Here's somebody who has no experience in the stock market. I'm sorry. This is somebody who has no clue what they're doing or talking about. Oh, can you believe they would dump the market one day after they pumped it? Oh my God. Holy shit. That's fucking, you know what? There's there's only one thing that this could be. There's only fucking one thing.
This is just so you guys would know how the market and how they fit the narrative and the media that they
They.
and it's so crazy. It's almost flipped at any given moment. So at any given time,
Welcome to a bear market, my friend, my young childish friend. Welcome to a fucking bear market. What? Welcome to a bear ass market. Jesus Christ. Welcome to a bear
one
market.
day could be the best outlook. Look at that. We're saving jobs, growth, all that stuff. Like in one day, and then the very next day, if
That's a problem when you listen to the narrative on the mainstream media, by the way.
Is to dump the market, whether for the market maker's purpose or whether for the shorting purpose, because it has gotten to a better shorting position. Even if it gets to that, they will the very next day announce, like, fabricate whatever news from somewhere and make it fit the narrative. At the end of the day, you get my point. If you've been in this movement for a long time, you know this very well, and you're not new to this. The one thing I do want to tell you is, one, when I was looking, how do I track stuff like this? You look at the volume. When you're seeing controlled volume, even if it's moving up or we're in the green, it's always good. But when you see the volume, you were able to, it was so easy for me to see that this was something being propped up. It entices people to jump in and YOLO on options and all that, only for
you don't need volume to know that.
And make it as believable as much as possible. And that they're good at. That's how the house lures people in. However, that doesn't mean there was no opportunities. There's been plenty, and all of you know this, especially if you've been a day trader, or if you are a day trader. There's been plenty of opportunities, and I always advocate for that. Choose wisely, get in and get out, do your thing. The volatility is your best friend, as I always advocate. You want the volatility. The worst and the most boring years in trading ever were the years where there was no pandemic or where there is no growth. So basically, anything prior to 2020 was extremely boring. You would have some run-ups and runners on a daily basis, but everything else was constricted to barely move. So you had to search a lot more to find something. Nowadays, whether on the way up or on the way down, volatility is your best friend. You see the waves that they pump up the entire market with, and you can see some plays that you can go in. For example, Tesla. Anybody that jumped in, and I'm not advocating for anybody or even giving any financial advice on any sort, but as an example, when you time, and you don't even have to time the bottom perfectly.
I don't need to hear about Tesla though. What does this have to do with AMC? That's the question here.
That's crazy money, based on that's Tesla. There's many other examples that we could throw out there.
Sorry, I mean, don't need
about any stock. You look at Bed Bath & Beyond, over 250% in a week. Write it up, and there's always puts for writing it down. Again, I don't give any financial advice. I'm not telling people go do this and do that. Specifically with AMC or our favorite.
That's good.
GME,
that's good.
And other positions like BBIG and any other stocks, Sundial. You guys know SPCEs, one of my favorites.
They're all shit stocks.
They all went up. They all went back down. If you're going to do any day trading, this is going to be your best friend. Volatility.
Okay.
Use volatility to be your best friend, my friend. So if you enjoy the money, do your thing. Congrats to everybody that made
This isn't a
profits and
MOASS
money.
video.
If you don't do day trades and you're all about AMC, GME, or you're all about AMC, whichever
we go.
one or both, then as I told you yesterday in the video,
Then don't trade.
Tamper your guys' expectations. When these things happen, I told you that this was a controlled run-up, and you can see it. Now, that does not mean
What does that mean,
that
though? Controlled
Monday,
run up?
this upcoming Monday, we won't see an up move. This could easily be bring it down now, Thursday, burn out all the people on the higher, way out of the money options, and continue them moving up, next week. I'll be coming back to you with more.
Probably not.
So if you have any questions, put them in the
Could be.
comment section. Much love.
All right.
Maybe.
So not about the MOASS. Oh boy. All right. Data 0. I think we've looked at this guy before. Can AMC squeeze again? Stock retail. Okay, a fact-based review of data. Well, you got me. You got me.
Hey guys, what's up? This is Stock Retail coming back to you again. Hope you all had a great holiday weekend. Nice start to the market week yesterday, a little more rocky today based on kind of broad macros across the market. But to be honest, I'm still pretty happy where we are with some of the setup. Probably depends on how you look at the charts and how you feel about the day-to-day, but I think a lot of us have been here so long, day-to-day almost doesn't matter anymore, and we kind of see the big picture. Speaking
boy.
of big picture, lately
So-
I've seen more.
So this claims to be a fact-based review, and like less than 30 seconds in, I can almost already guarantee it's not, based on that preamble, but okay.
More and more of something, frankly, it's not too new. We've seen this plenty of times before. We are being told by various trolls who may show up in your feeds. You've all seen this tweet where it's like, give it up, stop with the hopium, stop fooling people, move on, there's no more squeeze. Okay, so that's an opinion, that's a statement. We have our own opinion, but how about instead of talking
That is an opinion. that it is an opinion is an opinion.
opinion and gut and facts, we talk data. I often say, logic and data are your friends. So how about we actually go review that data and ask ourselves, if you think of the run, I'm going to look at actually April of 2021. If you think of the run from there until back then,
Yes.
kind of 72-ish, we'll look
Well,
at actually kind of a
Let me
post-squirrel
refer to
number here.
squirrels.
But a significant run from, let's say, April till June. What might that look like compared to now?
Yes.
What are the mechanics of the squeeze, sort of the data points compared to now? Is
Oh
it
my God.
worse? Is there no squeeze coming? Is it better? If you followed me a little bit by now, either, maybe you've seen me on Twitter. I've been around 2 years there. Or you've started to see some of my
Wow,
YouTube.
Chris.
You know that
I didn't know that. Never heard of that.
Hopium. So hopefully you can kind of sit back and go through this data, and then I'll give you the chance to sort of fact check it for yourself. So we've all got a lot of money on the line. Wouldn't it be great to review the facts, like I said, and instead of arguing or getting worried by trolls?
Why would you want to do that?
Let's just go ahead and tear this apart. So we're going to look at the price. We're going to look at the short interest itself as both the percent.
Oh,
and
great.
shares.
All
We're
this
gonna look at
shit.
cost to borrow then versus now. How about AMC's revenues, right? Like,
I mean-
the health of a business certainly matters in a squeeze. It's a lot easier for shorts to attack a business going bankrupt versus a business bringing in more money.
Well,
Let's just look. What's different then versus now in terms of the box office? And then obviously concessions is a big part of the business. How about AMC's
Yay.
better or worse than versus now? Why don't we take a look? Market liquidity, just the overall market. How's it doing? What's the health of the market? We all talk about margin calls. Are people farther away or closer to kind of having leverage problems and liquidity issues? Days to cover. That's certainly a pretty significant squeeze metric. Probably ought to look at that. And then maybe talk about some other things. So first, let's just remind ourselves what even happened. So I just picked this date in April for a couple of personal reasons, just to get out of the way. And you can even go back and look at the historical charts.
I got to go
and
grab a
history
sweater.
of the short
I
interest.
will be
I
right
could have
back.
picked
I'm just going to
even
let
far
this
more
play.
favorable dates than this.
And,
So just to be clear, this is not a cherry-picked date. There's actually a reason I
Right
picked
back.
this date based on some things I've seen out there recently and just kind of for fun. But just to be clear, if I wanted, I could have picked an even more favorable date, but we'll go with this. So you can see the price, April 5th is what I'm showing you, was 620 at the open. And then you can see by, I think this was June 3rd, if I recall correctly, we ran to a high of 44.61. That from open until high was a 620% gain. So that's the first thing of people saying, well, you can never get there again. Well, I mean, first off, it's happened. It's happened before. So when people say, oh, the price is so low right now or whatever, this is a split adjusted price you're looking at. So it compares to basically where we are right now. So that's just really interesting. Let's just kind of start with that as the framework. We had a run like that before. Could a run like that ever happen again? So I'm going to go through all that data. I've got some screenshots here that follow, and I'll kind of, as usual, I'll share the sources. I say around here, there's no trust me bros, at least in my circles. We don't trust bros. We trust data, we trust facts, we trust ED, and we trust ourselves and our own conviction. So I will not ask you to trust me. I'm going to show you where I've got all this. All right, so what was the situation? So on April 6th, and I would have, compared to April 5th there, but this is just the data I have. So I showed you that price point from April 5th, but close enough. April 6th here with the short data was 15% total shorted as a percent of the float. Now I wanted to compare the float, right? Because we have more shares now than we used to. So comparing apples to apples means we need to look at the percent of
got
the
the sweater.
shorted, and I'm going to show that. So you can see that was 76 million shares, and you'll see the shares don't compare. So
What did I miss?
See, we got a lot more shares shorted now, but really the percent of the float that's shorted is 22%. So that's interesting. We have more short
Chuck.
by 47%. There's 47% increase in the percent.
It should.
Percent of the float.
It should now.
Now versus then, when we had that big of a run.
It's obsession,
And some people even like to say that was really a gamma squeeze, not a short squeeze.
These are the kind of guys.
Data of that on another video. But it's some kind of squeeze. You remember?
These are the kind of guys that you do not want your daughter hanging around with. I tell you that right now.
Of the float was shorted. Now we're at 22%. That's a 47%.
Obsessive motherfuckers.
Fat green arrow. Now is more squeezy than then. Okay, but how about the rest? Because
God.
You give it up, it's hopium. Well,
Squeezy. Not a fan of that word. Not a fan.
How about the cost to borrow? That sure would matter, right?
No.
I showed you in another video that I confirmed with my broker.
Did he talk about price yet?
I don't want to give my shares out.
Did he talk about the price yet?
But if I was to loan out my shares, E-Trade was saying they'd pay me roughly 40% a year on an annual rate for the whole year, but that's actually paid out daily. So whatever that is, you got to kind of divide by how many trading days or whatever. Actually, not trading days, just total days of the year. But they're paying out cash daily. Shorts are burning cash daily to hold their borrowed shares. So what is that costing them? Well, back at April 26th, the average cost to borrow from Ortex, and again, I'm going to show you all my sources here, so you don't have to trust this, bro. The average cost to borrow was 10%, and the max cost to borrow was 39%. Well, we all know, of course, this depends on what time and who posted, but the Ortex data I saw from this morning was the average cost to borrow was 135%, and the total, the max
percent of what though? Like you can't.
That is,
Okay, this is just cherry picking. This is very selectively reporting data. Wow. So this is claiming to be fact-based, right? And look at the change. Look at the change that he put there. What a fucking dweeb. Okay. Maybe he talked about the price when I was getting my sweater, but I don't see it on this chart, so I don't know. But cost to borrow is a percentage of something. Percentages are of something. So what is it a percentage of? What percentage of the price? What's the difference in fucking price? So that matters. I believe that matters. Okay.
a 1,250% increase on the average, and almost a 700% increase in the cost of the max. So clearly, far, far, far more squeezy now than it was then.
I mean, I'm sorry, no, that's like a fault. What the fuck? This is what happens when an ape tries to. This is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass.
I'm giving that 3 big fat green arrows for basically saying.
Of course, because you're fucking biased. Pretending to be data based.
Daily box office. You can go validate
Jesus
this at Box
Christ.
Office Mojo. There's a lot of other places you could go. Just Google domestic box office, which actually, by the way, I'm also doing Shorty a favor here because I'm comparing domestic to domestic. But if you
doing Shorty a favor,
it's better than 2 to 1 in terms of
listen to this fucking language
versus domestic. So
let's see here. Shadow stars.
I'm even going to show you that I'm going to look.
How about this fact-based analysis we got going here? What do you think? I don't know if he's well, jump in whenever you can.
At even
But
a previous quarter. But let's get into this. So
your audio is only playing through the. I want to hear it through the YouTube stream.
Oh, okay. Well, you should hear it now, I think, right? You got it in the,
Hold on.
you should have
Okay,
it in
now I
the,
hear it. Yep.
okay, cool. Cool, cool. Um, thoughts?
So far, I mean, okay, he's pulling Ortex data. The thing he doesn't seem to touch upon, the cost to borrow.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of it seems to pass by so many folks. Do people not realize maybe the cost to borrow is going up so much because they're borrowing everything? They're shorting it because they realize, oh, hey, it's
Right.
becoming more and more likely this company is going to go bankrupt. And that's why these shares are so hard to find. They're hard to borrow because they're borrowing every single share to short it now.
Right.
It's just becoming free money.
Right. But the, yeah, the assumption here is that higher cost to borrow is, oh, I fucking hate this word, squeezier. But I think that's a false, I think that's a false assumption. I don't think that's true. Um,
Well, no, I mean,
like
it's not wrong. I mean, it's right in the fact that, yes, if you have a company that's been heavily shorted,
it's, yeah.
yes, if there is a catalyst that will completely like 180 the company around, then
Mm-hmm.
yes, you'll have a big short squeeze. But that's
Right.
under the big assumption that there is a big enough catalyst that will absolutely turn around the company. So when these
Right.
companies, when these hedge funds, short hedge funds, are shorting the crap out of a company like AMC, it's because they've done the analysis and they see that, oh, look, financially, this company is burning money hand over fist. They're going to go
Right.
bankrupt. We're going to
Right.
short the shit out of it.
Right. Right. And I
There's
guess, yeah,
no catalyst that'll
there's no,
change this thing. Like, are
exactly.
they all thinking, oh, popcorn and credit cards and Zoom meetings are suddenly going to turn the company profitable like
If
crazy
if they
fast?
are, it's not a surprise that Wall Street is like, no, like that's some, like it's not. But yeah, I mean, I guess I'm saying the cost to borrow out of context like this. I mean, this is extremely out of context here. Like, and it is somewhat subjective, I guess, in a way, like the stuff that you just mentioned. I mean, yeah, it could be, you could back it up with numbers, obviously, but, you know, the narrative of this is a company that is that is not changing with the times, and there is no foreseeable catalyst, fundamental catalyst that would cause the stock price, that would cause investors, like, and I'm not talking meme stock gamblers, I'm talking like in actual investors, hedge funds, institutions, to dump money into it with the expectation of a future earnings, higher multiple, if you want to say it that way, um, that would actually stick. The only thing that has basically done that was last 2 years ago, I guess, like retail buying in with all the stimulus money, right? And short covering itself on all these, short covering rallies that we have across the entire market. But it always comes back down. Like there's no catalyst that will make it go up and stay up, or go up with expectation of it growing in the future. So cost to borrow, and to what you're saying, yeah, the cost to borrow is high because investors are shorting it because there is no fundamental catalyst for it to go up. So out of context, one could look at it and say, "Oh wow, look, cost to borrow is so high. It must be costing them a lot of money." 135 is a big number, even though we don't know what that is. He hasn't, the price isn't on here, so we don't know what that's a percentage of. But yeah, there's a bigger context to cost to borrow. It like, yeah, you could say, oh, 300%. Sure. I mean, that's based on demand. Why is there so much demand for it? And
One thing also that's never seemed to be covered is that a lot of these cost to borrow figures, that's of the last share that was borrowed.
right.
So
Yeah.
you have no context of, hey, did they borrow 1,000 shares at that rate? Did they borrow just one share at that rate?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's a good
it's
point too.
important.
Yeah.
If you borrowed 1,000 shares at whatever 100%, and you only borrowed one at 135%, big
Right.
difference.
Yeah. And that percentage, is that borrow rate, that's is that contractual? Like, is that specified contractually, or does it change? In other words, like, if you borrow it at 105% or whatever, will it be 105% for the length of the borrowing period, or is that subject to change? Or do you know?
That I'm not 100% sure of.
Yeah, I'm not either.
But you would think that that rate would be variable.
Yeah, that's what I've heard, but I mean, it was on one of these type of videos that heard that. So, I don't know, but I didn't verify it. But I mean, at the end of the day, yeah, we don't know how many shares were borrowed at any rate. We don't know. We don't know. I mean, and they give you the average. Okay, so that means that, yeah, there were some borrowed higher than 135% and some borrowed lower than 135%. But we don't know how many at each. And the average is the average of the percentages. So, I don't know. It's incomplete data, I guess, too. But yeah, I mean, that's a good point.
They're using one criteria to try to fit, like, oh hey, you know what? Some stocks squeezed because of this high short interest. Oh, that
Mhm.
must mean that every stock that has high
Right.
short interest must squeeze. Like,
Yeah.
no, you got it's different between correlation and causation. Like,
Hmm.
they're
Right. And
just not getting it.
that's something that, yeah, we've tried to talk about here. When you and I have talked about too together, I'm sure that idea that high short interest does not mean that a stock will squeeze. It just doesn't. Like, that's one criteria. But I mean, yeah, why 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 do they think that there hasn't been any type of, major squeeze on any of these stocks? Well, because the short thesis is valid, I mean, really, on something like Bed Bath& Beyond, GameStop, AMC, Party City. Hey, the shorts. What I think Manuel said earlier in Telegram, like, oh, the shorts won another one. They get to not pay taxes. But I mean, like, yeah. Could you imagine being on the long side of something like that and dumping a shitload of money into it as if you had followed Mr. Stocks and Crypto Plays? Like, what a shit show, man. And you've been covering him. Did you do an update video on that yet?
Yeah, I did a quick video today, and yeah, I clowned him on his Party City call out.
Jesus,
Man, gotta love it. We'll see if this guy ever updates on his Party City. But hey, if he
right?
didn't sell and take profit, he lost all his money in Party City.
So, daily box
Those
office
shares
for
are
Q2,
worthless.
which is when April was of 2021, was $8.9 million a day domestically.
Oh,
But
we're gonna have a
in the current
much
quarter,
higher number here.
like I said, I'm going to show you some other data too. But in the current quarter, we're tracking at $21.35 million a day. That's an increase of 139%.
It's not 100. It's not 21 million every day. I mean, I don't know how he's deriving that, but I
He's
mean,
comparing one specific day to like
yeah, how is he
that's so
comparing
cherry
one
picking the
day
data.
to like one today? I mean, like, yeah, I don't think so. That's not how it works. I mean, yeah, it was 21 on Monday for the top 10. Did he literally average all those? I doubt it. So it's very much biased, subjective presentation, masquerading as trying to be objective, from what I can tell. Right, like that's my initial hit on this. Like, it's not. This isn't truly a data comparison.
I kind of
Um,
want to do a video on this guy.
you should. You
What's
should.
his name? Stock
Stock
Retail? Okay.
retail.
I'll
Yep.
take a look at his
Percent
channel.
increase. So it's
Yeah.
239% total of what it used to be. So basically 2.5 times what it used to be. And that's, like I said, not even using kind of how Avatar's tracking even better internationally. If I was to compare
Oh no, wait.
international
He's
versus
using
international.
April 6, 2021. So he's looking at pandemic when
Yeah.
stuff was still locked down.
Yeah. There
What
were
the Oh my goodness.
there were movies. Yeah. And then the irony there is there were movies that had been produced, right? But there wasn't. Um, there were no people because the theaters were, like, the lockdowns. But now you have no lockdowns, but you have fewer movies. So, but I mean, yeah, and he also just said he mentioned I don't know if you heard it at the tail end. He mentioned even higher if you factor in the fact that Avatar is killing it on the international market for the international box office. And it's like, okay, but that doesn't matter. What is that? How is that relevant here? It's not relevant. I mean, maybe for those small percentage of AMC theaters overseas, but I don't know. Yeah, that's a
I
little bit
swear,
disingenuous.
they think AMC, being the world's largest theater chain, must mean that AMC owns like a majority of all the theaters in the world. Like, I'd
Right.
like to know how many people even know how many theaters AMC has internationally, and how many in each country.
Yeah, I
Like,
can
even
tell
in
you.
the US, they don't even
Mhm.
hold 50% of all the theaters in the US.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I only have one
They
AMC
hold
theater near me. Everything else is Cinemark and Regal is what we have here. So, and the AMC is not close to me anyway. Like I wouldn't go to it. It's like I passed three other theaters on the way to it. So
like AMC has sub 600 theaters in the US, in the US markets,
that's
domestic
crazy.
market. There's more than
That's
4,000 theaters in the
wait,
domestic market.
600?
So
You said 600?
sub 600.
So
Yeah,
that's like
under
10 per
600.
state? Like an average of 10 per state. Are you serious? Like, and I know it's not probably, there's probably don't have any in Idaho or, North Dakota or whatever, but that's, wow. Okay. Hmm. I didn't realize that.
And they only have what, 900, like 950 theaters around there in total.
Yeah,
So
right. It's
let's say
sub 1,000.
550 domestically, 950 combined. They have what, 400 in total across the world. They have
Yeah.
less than 50 in Saudi Arabia. So 400 between all those countries. Was it Germany, Spain, Norway, Finland, etc.?
Right.
Like, there's thousands, tens of thousands of theaters in the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
AMC holds less than 10%. I bet even less than 5% of all the theaters in the whole damn world.
Yeah. Don't
And
they
they
have
think,
some
oh, it's
in,
doing
what is it?
well internationally. So Avatar's killed it. Oh,
Right.
Top Gun killed it. Wakanda killed it.
God, yeah,
Where's the
that's,
context? Like,
yeah, good
doesn't make
point. That's
sense to
great.
me. Why don't they
Great point.
understand? It doesn't do shit if Avatar does well internationally, if the people aren't watching it in the theaters that they have it in those
Right.
countries, like
That's right.
China, India, South Korea, like
Right.
France.
And
They don't have theaters in those fucking countries.
and that's what, from what I understand, Avatar's killing it in China, and AMC has 0 theaters in China. So, yeah, it's just, yeah, they just wanna conflate the box office with AMC, probably because, like you said, they've they've taken this fact that AMC is the world's largest theater chain. Well, okay, that might be true, but, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this was Adam Aaron's doing. He was the one who wanted to create this, theater, conglomerate or monopoly or whatever you want to call it. But I mean, yeah, okay, great. You're the largest theater chain, but yeah, I mean, yeah, you have less than 1/10 of theaters. You're never gonna have. I mean, it's just like it's such a old-fashioned type of goal in my mind. Like, why would you even want to do that? Like, it's just that's too like I don't know. All under one banner, like one corporation. It just seems. I mean, I guess maybe they do have subsidiaries, but yeah, it's a disingenuous comparison. I knew once I saw that was on there that it was gonna be like this. Like it was gonna be like, wow, oh my God. All right, I mean concessions. Come on, really? I mean, Jesus Christ, concessions.
He's comparing concessions when theaters were like half closed,
They were
little more
half
than half
closed,
closed. To
right? And he's probably talking about revenue too. Let's see if he says he's probably talking about revenue, which is going to be skewed by inflation as well. Like, unless he's talking about profit from concessions. All right, let's
National
see.
see an even bigger growth. So the box office has grown by a ton, more than doubled. So we're going to give that two big
Wow.
numbers.
I mean,
Box
how
office tracking more
surprising.
than double now what it was then. That seems like a pretty big deal. How about concessions? So that quarter, AMC had $162 million roughly of concession sales, food and beverage sales. I am using, you can see here, Q2 versus Q2 so that we can kind of compare apples to apples. So, but that's really important to note because I'm looking at last year Q2. It's almost a year behind us now. And you know that things have improved. You also know that because of inflation, we're paying more for food. So I'm giving Shorty another kind of favor here where I'm
Oh,
comparing to
God.
a lesser quarter than if I was to look, if we do this again this April and I compare April to April, this is going to be even more favorable. But you can
Well,
see just even,
you wouldn't be able to do that in this video now because it's literally first quarter. So I mean that's yeah, if I went in future and did it, okay. How do you know that though? How do you know that first quarter is going to be better? You don't know that. We're barely 3 weeks into it.
a year
Kind
ago
of dumb.
basically was also more than double when the squeeze happened. So concessions, food and beverage sales is tracking at 145% 2022 versus 2021, and I'm sure this year will be even more. So two big green arrows on that one. So far, short interest, cost to borrow, the box office, just the movie revenues, food and beverage revenues are all way, way, way better now than they
Revenues.
were then
Yeah.
if you're rooting for a squeeze. How about debt? Shorty likes to talk to us about debt a whole lot, don't they? We had that squeeze when the debt was at $5.2 billion for AMC with a lot less revenue, as I've just shown you. You know what our debt is now? 4.92. That is a reduction of
Oh
almost
wow.
$300 million of debt
Oh
since the last
wow.
big squeeze
Amazing.
happened, or
Reduction.
6% less debt than we had then. And I'm going to source that again. No, trust me, bro. I'm going to show you where I got that. So I'm giving that a one green arrow because it's only a 6%. It's a single digit reduction, but it is $300 million of debt that's been reduced since then. So more squeezy now than it was then. How about liquidity risk? We're going to go a little subjective here, but we'll talk about this. So in 2021, at that point, we were still in a bull market. Kind of go back and track the movement of the whole market if you want. Look at any of the indexes, look at our stock, look at other stocks. We were in a bull market then, but right now, and so I'm just sourcing from the IMF, but also a few other kind of data points. So I'm going to show you an article here, even in a minute. Per the International Monetary Fund, so financial liquidity risk is far worse now than it was then. We know about the Fed tapering, we know about interest rates, and just the entire macro environment is a lot worse if you're sitting on a leveraged position. So now I'm talking about margins, margin calls, all of that. So the mechanics behind that. So that's far worse for Shorty, which means it's far better for us. I'm just giving that a single green arrow though, just because it's a little subjective. How
But
about days to cover? So
I mean but what about the price having gone down double-digit percent and like in between? Oh my God. Like
I don't understand more the argument of, oh, margin calls. You think that because
yeah,
their longs, their collateral in those blue chips went down because Tesla, Apple, Microsoft, Google, because they all dropped 20, 30%, suddenly they don't have enough money to cover their shorts at AMC?
I think that's
Like, it
I
makes
think
no
that's
sense. Doesn't matter if the cost to borrow went up from 10% to 135%. The stock dropped from $72 to
right.
freaking $4 or $5.
Exactly.
And it's an annualized rate. They're paying pennies to short shares of AMC.
Right.
You
And
think these people, they have
before
millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. It's
before it was
unfucking
yeah, before it like the cost to borrow went up to, like where it is now, it was like what, like 10, 20%. It was like sub penny per day. It was less than a penny per day per share uh borrow. Like I mean that's crazy. But yeah, like yeah, yep. The percentage and also yeah, like they think that I mean that was one of the big catalysts, like the market crash. Like the market crash is going to knock out their ability. It's going to, yeah, it's going to reduce their long positions. So um but I mean, yeah, wouldn't you think the apes think that the hedge funds are just sitting around like not thinking about this or doing any research or anything, and it's just going to come and smack them in the face. because that's what happens to the apes. I think that's always been like my theory on it. They don't think that anybody else is doing any research because they don't really do any research themselves. But um, when in reality, I mean, Wall Street is way more in tune with this shit than retail investors are. I mean, retail investors are by and large uninformed. So, especially the apes. So I just don't understand why they think the hedge funds would be surprised and would be like blown out by a market decline. They would probably be at least hedging their positions, if not making money on the decline. So it just doesn't make sense at all, really.
Oh, one quick thing that he seemed to slip past for when he talked about the debt.
Hmm.
Talk about how the interest rate on all that debt has gone up since
Ooh,
2021 to now.
ooh, that's a good one.
See,
Yeah,
no mention of it.
you'll have to
Oh,
put
we
that in your video,
reduced the debt by 6%, 290 million. Well,
right?
guess what? How much more in interest do you have to pay because interest rates skyrocketed
Yeah,
5% and will
right.
probably go even higher?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it went from near zero to, yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't know what it is now. I mean, it's probably down a little bit, but well, I don't know. I don't know how that goes off of the federal funds rate. But anyway, yeah, no, I mean, that's definitely overlooked here for sure.
Pretty big. Um, Study that, guys,
Pretty
if you
big
haven't yet. That's
oversight.
a pretty important metric in the squeeze. Most of you probably know it by now, but it's kind of a measure of how much volume it's going to take Shorty to get out of their position and what sort of it's going to do
Oh
in
God,
terms of
days to
upward forces of
cover.
pressure if they were to try to exit their position as well. So back then,
Completely theoretical measure, by the way. Like days to cover is a completely worthless metric in my opinion. I don't really I don't really see how this is useful at all because if you had if you had short covering, that would increase the volume and it would reduce the days to cover. Plus, the short interest would go down. So I just don't see how it really means anything. What, like, and the only reason that the days to cover is so high, I know he's going to say it's way high now, is because the volume has been anemic. There's been no volume by and large. So this is another worthless comparison, probably. I don't know. Let's see.
we had basically the run up to June. At that point in April was 2.1 days to cover. How about now? 6.6, guys. We are more than triple. So 214% increase, or you could say it's 314% of
But I
what's.
mean, speaking to what you said earlier, there's no catalyst that would cause all the short, and this is something that I said like 2 years ago on this channel. Like, there's no reason that all the shorts would cover at one time. Like, there's just no reason. Like, why would that happen? Why would if that wasn't a necessity, why would it happen? It wouldn't. Like, it- I don't know. Like, but yeah, here we go. 214% higher. Yay.
What it was. We've added 4.5 days. It was only 2.1 days. We've increased by 4.5 days. So that gets two big fat green arrows. Days to cover is far higher and far squeezier than it was when we ran to 72. How about everything else? Well, think about the visibility we have in terms of just social awareness.
Here we
The entire
go with some
country
really
knowing what's
subjective
going on
shit.
with us, the entire world knowing what's going on. We spent 2 years yelling about this. Look at the engagement we get on all the social platforms. Look at the media talking about us. Think about the education we all have. We know there's
Oh, Jesus.
DOJ kind of criminal proceedings going on. We know the
Lack of
SEC is aware,
education.
even though we're not thrilled about how they're.
Yeah, it's really uneducation. I mean, like they got diseducated. Like that's one of the ridiculous things about this. Like how much, I mean, most people didn't know anything about any of this stuff, but now they're misinformed about it. And like once you learn something, even if it's wrong, it's so hard to unlearn that. It's hard to even be motivated to unlearn it because you already know it and you're just going to be like, "Oh yeah, that's bullshit." Like the markets, yeah, Citadels, whatever. it's so hard to unlearn like bad habits and misinformation and stuff. I feel like most people don't even try to. You have to. It's even harder. So yeah, I hate this. When they talk about that education, look how much we know. Well, we predicted everything. Remember when they used to say that about Lou? Oh, look. Well, I don't know if you watched Lou about like a year ago or whatever, but it was like everything that Lou said is coming true. Lou predicted everything. Like, no, he didn't. Like, that's such a stretch. Ridiculous.
Has Lou ever gotten anything right? I don't recall him being right on any single prediction.
I don't know. I mean, oh, look at this. Just another ape says, "You're kind of like a wannabe Marantz. Are you trying to be like him?" Go fuck yourself. Wow. No, I'm not trying to be like Marantz, because I actually look at the fucking facts. And we'll sit here all night and talk about how GameStop is just as big, if not bigger, piece of shit as AMC. So Morant, I do have a Morant's clip though to play after this. I do have one, but that's funny. That is funny. So, I'm not chilling for anything. I'm not cloaking, my nervousness about my GameStop position, for example, in putting down AMC. When at the end of the day, you believe in the same shit. I mean, it's like, it's, ah, that's funny. Thanks for the laugh.
And I'm putting that mildly, but just the amount of awareness, visibility, and education from then to now, and the amount of hodlers, I would say, how many apes are involved, I'm giving that a green arrow. So every
Like you don't have any data to support that. How do you know how many apes are hodling? Like that's completely not based on any evidence right there. Like, you think there are because the ones that are more like the bottom of the barrel, overzealous, like fucking uninformed. Anybody who has any sense has probably moved on. Or
I
let me
mean,
say,
even Adam Aaron has someone videotaped Adam Aaron at one of the movie screenings, and he even said it's less than 4 million. So he said what 3 or 3.5 million. So you have less people in the play. You can see. I mean, I just did my ETF update. I revived it. It's a file I haven't updated in over a year. But you see less ETFs involved in holding AMC. You'll see how AMC is no longer in a lot of those large cap index tracking funds. They're all in the small and mid caps now for the most part.
oh boy, it's time to highlight his stupidity. Yeah, we're gonna have to pivot over to boy, one of the most
Oh, did
ridiculous
he come
things.
through? Moran's
Oh
came through?
yeah. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Because, you know, somebody who like he has nothing better to do, I guess, than to watch a stream from someone that he hates, I guess, which I mean is hilarious in and of itself, but anyway, where is that here? Let's see. Where the fuck is it? Yeah, no, the fuck out of here. Bottom bear. Go fuck yourself, you fucking God. GameStop fucking apes are the dumbest fucking apes. Like, I honestly think that they are like they're by far more ridiculous than AMC. Like, I don't know why would anybody go to a go to a GameStop store? Like, what do you fucking need from GameStop? That's really what I don't know. Oh, here it is. I got it. Listen to this fucking shit. This is some fucking ridiculous bullshit
Hey
here.
guys, what's up?
Not that.
He bought some shares, try to catch that rocket that they thought was going, because they don't know any better. They just don't know. We've been watching this stock move for about 2 years now, every day. You know, I got new people every day asking me, Morantz, when you buy your shares? Are you bag holding? And I tell them the same thing. Yeah, I'm holding so that you can get in at a great price.
I'm holding so you can get in at a great price. What the fuck is that? I'm holding so you can get in at a great price. I mean, that sounds like a fucking used car salesman. See, are you a used car salesman? Do you sell cars? Is that what you do? Because, man, you got some fucking lines for it. Wow. Like, that's ridiculous.
Morantz, when you buy your shares? Are you bag holding? And I tell them the same thing. Yeah, I'm holding so that you can get in at a great price. And am I mad that I bought at the top? Am I mad that I bought, at every level? Am I mad that I bought at $16 last week? No, I'm not mad. And it's
No? Oh, that sigh kind of says otherwise, but no, I'm not mad.
Am I mad that I bought at $16 last week? No, I'm not mad. And it's a way of thinking, okay, guys? Let's look at the mindset for a second. And I just want to say a shout out to everybody. Good morning. Think about this for a second. For everybody out there that always says, well, you're mad because you're holding bags, or you're mad that you bought in at this price, like how we all bought in last year. And look at the price now. You know, it's $20, aka $80. It's $80 a share, pre-split.
No, it's not fucking $80 a share pre-split. What are you living in 2022 for the split? Okay, all right, fine, whatever. But that's no, it's $20.
Split, right? And I would tell you it like this because I was talking to Elmo last night, and he really hit it on the head with me. He said, "No, Morantz," he goes, I don't feel the way those guys feel," because people ask me that all the time too. But I'm going to ask you guys to ask yourself this question: if I gave you the amount of money you had last year, 2 years ago, when you got into this play, when you started putting money onto GameStop, how many of you would still have that amount of money today to buy the stock right now? How many of you would have burned off the amount of savings that you put into GameStop? You haven't lost anything. It's still there.
Hmm.
Hold on, what?
Yeah,
So you're saying no one ever has any sort of financial control to not spend, to limit your spending?
yeah, I mean he's saying that, well, at least you have the at least you have, you know, the amount of money that the your total equity in GameStop, even though it's down whatever 60% or 70, 80, whatever. At least you have that much because you probably would have wasted all of you probably would have just blown through it or wasted it on some stupid bullshit, which is like, I mean, there's so many things wrong with this to me. Like there are so many things wrong with this. Like, first of all, it's a straw man argument. I mean, no, you don't know what people would have done with it if they hadn't bought GameStop with it. They would have wasted it on something. I mean, that's absurd right there. Some would probably consider that to be a waste of money. I would, but yeah. So investing in a shitty stock that has declined in value substantially, hey, at least you've got something because you wouldn't have anything otherwise. That's ridiculous. That's the stupidest thing I've ever fucking heard. What? Oh my God. Like, this is a bag holder trying to not feel like he wants to fucking cry into his pillow. That's what this is. There's no question. I mean, that's how it comes across, at least. You're trying to justify being a fucking bag holder. You're trying to say that GameStop is a good investment. Ah, what? I mean, this is some irresponsible fucking shit, in my opinion.
I just want to know how many shares does this guy have?
I don't know. Maybe he'll tell us. Yeah, he's probably gone. I'm sure he's gone.
Just curious. If someone's so confident in the play, I'd love to know how much money he's invested in there, how much of his portfolio is in there.
Manuel
Like,
might know.
if you're so short in this, like, okay, I mean, I'd love to see some proof.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I know. Like what? It's just, and yeah. I mean, of course, it goes
Yeah,
on.
you bought shares. Those shares are worth something. But I guarantee you would have burned off that money that you didn't buy GameStop at. You would have burned it off on, I don't know, fast food, tennis shoes, clothes, clubbing, gambling.
Which I mean, listen to this opinion. Like this is so judgmental too. Like I hate this fucking attitude. Like, oh, you would have just wasted it on tennis shoes and all these things that I think are not a good use of your money. What a fucktard. Like seriously, it's none of your fucking business, Morant, what people spend their goddamn money on. And I can tell you right now, a pair of tennis shoes, in my opinion, is a better investment than fucking GameStop shares. At least you can do something with them. At least they have a function, a purpose. Somebody might look at them and say, "Hey, I like those kicks." Like,
I think he said that he's holding because he's gonna live off those dividends.
yeah, right.
He's waiting for
Oh yeah.
GameStop to
Hey,
issue dividends. What,
hey,
sometime this year? I think
hey,
he said.
yeah. Hey. All you need is positive free cash flow per share. Hey, that's all you need, baby. And then you can issue a dividend, right? Jesus. Go back to fucking selling cars, bro.
You would have burned it off on, I don't know, fast food, tennis shoes, clothes, gambling, casino night, right? Whatever you guys are doing.
Gambling, that's an interesting choice to throw in there. Gambling. Really? Gambling. Okay.
You would have burned off that money by now. With inflation, the way it's been hitting you and been attacking you, every time you go to the grocery store, you're looking at eggs 5 times higher than it was before, milk, gas, bread, all the essentials. And I would tell you, you wouldn't have the money. I know you wouldn't, because I know I wouldn't. And yet somehow I still find money every day to do the things I need to do, i.e. pay for gas, pay for food, pay for the vet bills that we just had, still pay our bills on time, still do the best we can. But I was able to save X amount of dollars last year, and I put it into GameStop. I don't care what price I bought GameStop shares at.
That's great investing, man. Great fucking investing. I don't care what price I bought the
He's
shares at.
rationalizing. He's trying to.
Oh yeah,
rationalize the old man.
100%, 100%. He's a fucking clown.
The fact that I actually put money in there that I wouldn't be able to put in today. So just because the price is down right now at $80, you tell me if you would have the $80 to put into it. You probably wouldn't. It would have been.
I mean, okay, sure, yeah, because you know what everybody would have been doing. Like, God, yeah, you want to make. He wants to make. He wants to make everybody. He wants. It's, yeah, he's rationalizing. He's equivocating. He is absolutely. I mean, that's. I don't see what else this could be other than straight up shilling for it. But I don't think he's a shill necessarily. I think he's just extremely uninformed, unskilled, and poorly spoken.
Been gone. And that was the point. So if you guys don't think that way, well, then maybe you haven't been here long enough.
Listen to this too. Like again, now I don't want to get political, and I have no idea what this guy's political affiliations are, but this really sounds
He's
like
mega Republican.
okay. I mean, well, okay, there you go. I mean, I was going to say this sounds like a super conservative type of thing to say. Uh, I know because this is something that I feel like my father would say to me. Like, you know, this
And that was the point.
particularly,
So
like my way or the highway. Like I'm right, you're wrong, you're young and stupid. Like,
if you guys
listen to
don't
this.
think that way, well, then maybe you haven't been here long enough. And I don't mean been here long enough as in been with the channel or been in the play. I'm talking about on planet Earth. Maybe you haven't been here long enough to understand that things go in cycles, and that when you do put stuff away and you put the foundation, it's going to help you out tenfold. And that
No, like that's kind of ironic though, like a little bit to me, like someone who is like leans heavily to the right, like, you know, I don't know, pretends, likes to think that they're more responsible and, that their way is right and that they want to try to get everybody to think the way they do. But the way that you're advocating people think is irresponsible. It's stupid and it's like not it's not based on facts. So I just think that's kind of funny. Like it's kind of the same way with,
I,
with me
I
and my
I
father.
think part of the reason why he's rationalizing like this and he's coming from that stance is because he has folks that he like his audience and his subscribers that he's amassed that there are folks that have bought at 309 like 300 plus. That guy was it Almo, whatever his name
Yeah,
was. He
yeah,
apparently bought
right.
above 300.
Oh
I
my
think
gosh.
another one of his mods, hot this year, that guy bought it like 309 or like 310. Yeah, those guys are massive bag holders.
Wow. Now is that pre-split though?
Yeah,
Is that
I mean, obviously, I mean, it was
yeah.
pre-split. I mean, there's no way.
Yeah.
So what's the post split? Let's say 300. GameStop did what 4 to 1.
That's what I was looking at. Yeah, 4 to 1. 4 for 1. Mm-hmm.
So if you bought
So
at 300, what are you at?
uh
Jesus,
70,
those are some
80, something
massive
like
bags.
that.
I mean, you'd have to average down a crap ton, and you'd
Yeah,
still
I
be
mean,
holding a bag.
wait, when was it? It was in the 300. Yeah, that was like, I mean, I could pull up Thinkorswim, I guess, and because Thinkorswim
He
probably had,
literally bought the peak. That was literally just buying the freaking peak.
yeah, because the peak in January of 2021 was like, was it five? Was it four something? Five? It was, I mean, I forget exactly.
429
Yeah,
or like
four.
430 something, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know if Thinkorswim displays it. They might, because I know they do for AMC. They show it just like when the ape it just gapped down. They just gap it down on the chart, so it still has all the old, valuations or whatever you want to call it,
Hold on.
price.
Sufyan Mudifir CPA. Oh, he's an actual CPA. So he's not like Avi Harkishun, the certified or the financial services professional now.
Oh, ah, where's that in the chat? Oh, how about we talk
In the
real
chat.
DD? Ah, we talk real D. Why is AMC a better company than GameStop? Um, I could tell you my opinion on it, but I mean, it's not really relevant. I don't care about GameStop. GameStop is, I like, my opinion is that AMC has a product that people that is in demand. Like AMC, and now I know Shadow Star's here, and I know you, and I probably agree with you um, on the numbers, like fundamentally speaking, that GameStop would be stronger than AMC. I think that's your position, right? Or that's your
Yeah, like when
conclusion.
you look at the balance sheet, if you look at the financials, AMC has absolutely terrible financials, and that's the one point I'll give to GameStop. GameStop has obviously basically no debt, so they're in much better position that way.
Hmm.
And they're not burning hundreds of millions of dollars every single quarter. So that's the
Right.
one place I come from when I say that hey, GameStop is in a better position than AMC because yeah, they don't have crazy debt and they're not burning money like crazy.
Oh
But
no, it
both,
it
I mean,
is.
I think the point that you come from is that hey, GameStop has a dying business model
Yeah,
versus
that's
AMC has they both have dying business models in my opinion. I think you
yeah.
you would agree with me on that, but it's
Oh,
just that
sure. Yeah.
GameStop has more of an antiquated business model.
Yeah. I mean, like
I
I just
think slightly different from you in that
no, no,
regard.
no. No, I
I
mean,
think we both agree that they're both
no,
terrible companies.
yeah, no, I agree. I mean, you can't argue with the numbers. I mean, I get that totally. So I guess my criticism is more subjective or more, just like societal or something. It's not necessarily, it's not a quantitative reason. But although you could say it is because like what is in terms of like game sales, video game sales, you know, how much of that occurs in a brick and mortar store now? Any store, not just GameStop. There are other stores that sell games, like Walmart sells games. Like, so what's Walmart's video game sales compared to, online, compared to GameStop, compared to Target, compared to other companies or retailers? Um, and then there's also just like stuff like, okay, yeah, NFT marketplace. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. Like that was that was a loser from the beginning. Like, I don't know, just total, why? So, but AMC on the other hand, like even though financially, well, Adam Aaron, I mean, I don't know. Did Adam Aaron kill AMC? I don't know. Would AMC be in a better position if they hadn't embarked on this massive expansion, to become the world's largest theater chain, uh, and continuing to acquire? I mean, I guess they are cutting loser theaters, but um, the $450 million Netflix deal from last October, or whatever, those
I
type
think
of
they would have been
things.
screwed. I mean, you can look at Cinemark. Cinemark was nowhere near as aggressive in their expansion like AMC was. Yet they're still like what 2+ billion in debt, mostly because of the pandemic,
Yeah, right.
and they're screwed down too. I mean, they're
Yeah,
not burning nearly as much cash as AMC, but I mean, nonetheless, the whole industry itself,
the
the movie
industry,
theater
right?
industry,
The
is
industry,
down
and
bad.
and you could say the same thing probably about GameStop too, in terms of like not necessarily because of the pandemic, but just because of shifting trends, shifting, um,
I think
you
the
know,
pandemic kind of gave a boost to GameStop, to be honest. If you're still able to sell consoles, you're still able to buy games. I mean, during the pandemic, everyone was stuck at home. So yeah, everyone was. That's why Netflix went so up. Netflix went up so much. Why
right.
telehealth
So
stuff, and Zoom, and all that stuff, Peloton, all the
yeah,
pandemic buff ups, where
right.
everyone was stuck at home. So they're forced to watch movies at home, playing games at home. So they all got that big boost. And yeah, when you have a company with a massive footprint and you don't have to open those and you get able to defer the rent and all that, yeah, that's a big boom to you. So I think GameStop actually benefited more from or they got more of a benefit from the pandemic as opposed to a company like AMC. AMC
Sure.
was absolutely screwed because if
And
the theaters closed, they can't do business. Period.
right. So GameStop having an online, yeah, e-commerce presence. So AMC didn't have that. Although they do have AMC on demand, but that's going away apparently, or that's slated to go away. So it's not something they're investing in, basically. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if the person who asked this question is still here, but I mean, that's we're discussing it. I mean, we're seriously discussing what you asked. Um, but our thoughts on it, I mean, nobody can say for sure, but I mean, I think that they're both. I don't think. Okay, let me put it this way, and then you can give your opinion on this as well. I don't think Wall Street's wrong. I don't think Wall Street's wrong about where these companies are and where they've gone and kind of the trajectory that they're on. I don't think that they've got that wrong, personally. I think they're priced for, the the stature in our society and in the industries that they're in. I think it makes sense, but I don't know what you think about that.
Hold on, sorry, I had to read a message from
Oh,
a friend. So, could you repeat that?
Oh, I just said I don't think that Wall Street's got these valuations wrong at this point. I don't think they've got wrong. I don't think they've got it wrong in terms of where these companies, like in terms of all the changes we've talked about, in terms of entertainment and content delivery. I mean, really, in both. I mean, that's actually content delivery is a big issue in both companies in terms of streaming for AMC and in terms of like Steam and other ways to get games rather than getting a physical product from a location. Um, GameStop and both companies also are trying to reinvent themselves somehow. You know, AMC, I don't see how they can because they're a theater company. That's what they do. They don't even own the buildings that they're in. They lease them and play movies that somebody else makes, and sell food and drinks at high margins. I don't know really what GameStop does at this point. I mean, I guess they sell games, but is that really
I mean,
sustainable?
I see them trying to transition more into sort of like an Amazon of sorts. So they're not just selling games and game consoles. They're trying to sell other stuff, other peripherals too. The question becomes: are they going to be more successful than, will they be able to edge out competition like Amazon? Like that,
Right.
I don't know. Like, I
Hmm.
don't think they could ever overcome a company like Amazon. Maybe they can take away a little bit of market share here and
Ah,
there because they run slightly smaller operation where they can be slightly more efficient
I
in
don't
some
know.
markets.
Yeah, I mean,
But overall, I mean, the economies of scale that Amazon has, I mean,
yeah,
they'll just do so much better. They'll be able to
yeah.
outmaneuver
I mean,
a company
Amazon.
like GameStop.
Yeah, I just, I don't, I mean, believe me, I'm not like, I don't want. I mean, I would rather see a company like GameStop do well in that sector rather than Amazon, like a kind of all one size fits all, like catch all, like conglomerate. Like, I'm not thrilled about Amazon, you know, dominating in so many areas. Um, but I mean, you have to be realistic, and that's the reality. I mean, shit, they have the whole supply chain, and a lot of things, or at least like Amazon Basics brands and stuff like that. You're not going to compete with that, I don't think. Like it doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't see how. I just don't. I don't see it. I don't see it. I think
Hold
that.
on. I want to engage on one of those guys in the chat. Just another ape. AMC has no real competitors. Wait up.
Oh, really?
Tell me, how many theaters does AMC have
We were just talking about
domestically?
this. Yeah.
Answer me that, just another ape. And how many theaters are there in all of the domestic markets total? If you don't know, I'll tell you. AMC has around like sub 600, around that 550, around that range of theaters operated in the domestic markets. There's more than 4,000 theaters in the domestic market. So AMC
Hmm.
is a small portion of that domestic market. So do they not have any competitors? Doesn't matter what brand it is. Doesn't matter if it's a Cinemark. Doesn't matter if it's a Regal. Doesn't matter.
Right. I mean, and like I was saying just anecdotally. I mean, this is just me anecdotally here, so you can't extrapolate it. Let me be clear about that. But where I'm at in Northeast Ohio, there's one AMC theater that I know of, and it's not particularly convenient to me. That's just me. Um, Most people, I have never personally. I've lived here for 10 years. I've never heard anybody say, "Oh, we're going to AMC." Never. So that's anecdotally for me. It's irrelevant. But I mean, just to say, like, we have plenty of other theaters. We have plenty of Cinemarks, plenty of Regals. Just here, there's not a lot of AMCs. So it's not nobody cares about AMC here because there's only one. That's theater in the United States. I mean, I don't know what theaters. This is probably gonna. I mean, I probably should be movie theaters, but Shit. What about in terms of number of screens? You got any information on screens? Movie theaters in the United States. How many theaters in the United States? Oh, that's old data. List of movie theater chains. This is like drive-in theaters and like historic old theaters and shit. So that's not
Okay,
list of
so he's replied. It doesn't matter how many theaters you have, it's how many screens you have. You must include international markets. AMC is the largest in the world. They are the best. AMC gets special deals with studios.
special deals like paying Netflix $450 million for the rights to show one film that, as far as I know, nobody cared about.
Okay,
Uh,
so I'm gonna pull up official filings then. Let's pull up the last 10Q.
Here,
Let's
you
see
want to
how many
share your screen?
screens.
I can throw you on the stream if you want to share your screen on Telegram.
Sure. Oh,
Window or whatever. We'll get that.
yeah,
We'll get
hold
that. We'll
on.
address that. But people go to the close. Lynn says people go to the closest place with a time that works for them. Movie theater does not invoke brand loyalty. You guys aren't on my level when it comes to this. Do some more research when speaking on AMC's competitors. Dude, like you're in a chat here. We're gonna show you some fucking data, okay? Like just chill out. Like what you know what makes you guys so fucking insufferable? It's your fucking attitude. Like you think that you are God's fucking gift to DD. You're not. You're not. Like what the fuck? Fucking narcissistic fucks. At this point, whatever. But hey, we'll engage with you. We'll engage with you. I mean, I
Yep, I
understand.
pulled up the most recent 10Q. AMC has they operate 10,515 screens.
How many now? 10,
10,515.
515. Okay, 10,515. Okay. All right. And let's see. Oh,
Or 18,
well,
or
okay.
518, but nonetheless,
So
the total
this
number of
is
movie screens in the US as of 2020 was over 40,000. So yeah, what Peter Lynch said.
Are you serious? Oh my God. I didn't realize it was that bad. Holy shit. So that's what, like about a 1/4? Now, okay, but
And
that
remember,
could
that's total. If we use just US figures, they only own like 7,700 in the US.
okay, so this says here, okay, on Wikipedia, but this is outdated because I mean this has got to be outdated, like because it linked the footnote linked me to the corporate profile on AMC's investor page. But I don't see anything that says a number of screens on here. You'd have to go to the actual 10Q. Oh yeah, it says right here 10,500. Okay, so this is Wikipedia is so fucking stupid sometimes. It says 11,041, 11,041. So that needs to be changed. What was it? 10,500. Okay. I'm gonna change it right now live because that's ridiculous. Like okay, you're gonna say a figure and then cite a have a citation, which is let's see, can we go to visual editing, please? But okay, yeah. Now it's 10,500. Okay, there we go. This is how you edit Wikipedia, guys. You see that there's the source and you change it. Boom. Now we're right. Okay. And how many sites? I probably have to get that. 950. So we got to change that too. Sorry. Now, couldn't one say that AMC has the most of any chain. Is that true? Like maybe they only have 1/4, but maybe all the other companies have fewer, so they still have the most, which is kind of, like, it's kind of the same thing, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, what good does it do if you have the most in the world?
Right.
I don't understand it.
Yeah. Okay. So now it's
Like
updated at least.
AMC is 30 minutes away and you have a Cinemark or Cineworld, whatever, that's 10 minutes away, are you going to drive 20 minutes further away just to go to an AMC?
Mm,
Rather, it'd be more like, hey, if the seats are shit, if the service is bad, then maybe you might go to a different movie theater. But if
mm-hmm.
all else is equal, they're about equal in service, you're not going to take 20 more minutes to
No,
drive further away.
that's
You
what
go
Lynn
to the
said.
closest one.
Right.
You're going because of the movie itself, not because of the place.
That's a great point. The only people that would go specifically to an AMC are the apes. I think. I don't even know if they do. They say they do, but I don't know if they actually do. Where's the United States up here? God damn it. Americas. United States. Okay. So this is going to be out of date too, probably. But AMC theaters, this is a 2018 count. I don't know why it's 659 theaters in the United States. Now they're saying, but we know that's way out of date now. 8,200 screens in the United States as of 2018.
Yeah, as of their Q3 reportings, 591 circuit theaters, 7,712 total circuit screens in the US market.
591 and how many screens?
7,712.
7712. Okay. And that's all right.
As of Q3, so September 30th,
Hey,
2022.
that's more recent than 2018. Jesus. That's kind of ridiculous. Of course all the other ones are 2018, but okay, so 7,000 screens. So yeah. Actually. Wait a minute. Oh shit. Okay, no, wait. So AMC has 7712. Regal. Regal has 7306. Again, that was in 2018. So let's see here. Regal. Number of screens. They could have fewer also, but 6,787. I mean, we're splitting hairs here though. Like it's the same essentially. That's the same size. About five, and actually they have more. They have no, they don't. They have slightly less. So, but it's the same. We're talking about the same scale, really. We're talking about 500 theaters and 7,000 screens. Regal has the same number, the same number. Now they're owned by Cineworld. They're the ones that I don't know. Did they go through reorganization or whatever?
Yeah, they're going for
Yeah.
bankruptcy reorganization plans right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have National Amusements too here, and they're smaller, but we have 29 locations. But I've been to Regency before, but yeah, I mean, so yeah, I mean, I guess he technically that ape is right, but it doesn't really matter. Like you've got another competitor that has basically the same amount. Number one. Number two, like you said, it's not there's you don't go to a theater for that reason. They also mentioned IMAX as well in their comment, that they've partnered with IMAX. look, I marked MOASS on IMAX. IMAX was not affected at all. I mean, this is interesting. IMAX was not affected at all by essentially by the AMC squeeze in June of 2021. Like, in fact, it closed lower on that day than it had. Like, and it dipped lower too. Which is just kind of interesting, I guess, to me. But IMAX didn't care about about the AMC squeeze, and neither did well, I guess, yeah, I guess Cinemark sort of did. It was at least it was like, but it was higher in March. So anyway, I mean, here's the thing about like these comparisons, and I've heard enough of this idiot.
What in the world? Thank you for acknowledging I am right. What? We just told you you're wrong.
Cinemark has half the screens as AMC. No, that's not correct at all, sir. Like, here's Regal.
Hold
Where's
on.
Regal?
He's talking Cinemark or Cineworld. Let's make sure.
Cinemark?
We're looking.
Cinemark.
We are looking at
Okay, fine.
Cineworld.
Oh, Regal. I mean, nobody calls it Cineworld. That, really. I've never heard Cineworld until they went out of business. Personally, me. But it was always Cleveland Cinemas. It was always uh, uh, Regal is what it's called. But anyway, whatever. Yeah, Regal, Cineworld, Cinemark. Okay, sorry, I'm going up here. But I mean, why? What difference does it make? We're talking about other theaters. Cinemark theaters, 4,500 screens, 500 locations. I mean, that's about the same number of locations. So it's not really that different. And does AMC utilize all of their screens all the time? I mean, does AMC utilize all their screens at every location all the time? Does any theater? I don't know. I'm seriously asking. I don't know. Maybe nobody knows. But great, you have the highest number of screens. Um, this is like a childish argument to me. Like,
Makes no sense. Tell me. Let's talk the fundamentals. Let's talk about how much money are you burning every quarter.
hmm
I don't care if you have more screens than any other company.
in fact,
If
the
you
more
can't bring in
screens that
people into your theaters, if people aren't buying lots and lots of overpriced popcorn and sodas and candy, you're not making money. That's why AMC is burning 200 plus million every quarter.
and one could maybe even say all those screens, maybe it's related to why you can't, why you're burning money. I don't know. That's a lot more projectors you got to upgrade. Um, get your popcorns. The free gourmet Oreo popcorn to U.S. Investor Connect members can be used through March 31st. Here's a fun idea for all AMC U.S. moviegoers. To celebrate National Popcorn Day tomorrow, wait, when was this? I don't know. It was a few days ago, I think, right? Or was it? Is it? I don't know. For one day only, Thursday, January 19th. Oh, it's tomorrow, today, technically. Our salty, buttery AMC Perfectly Popcorn is half price. Wow, look at that. You have Adam Aaron in a fucking chef or like a concession stand uniform or something, I guess, with a steak and shake style hat, peddling popcorn in the grocery aisle, which is it even available in the aisle? I don't know. I've never seen it. They don't have it in retail stores yet, do they?
No, as far as I know, they don't. Or there would have been tweets and everything about it. People
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh
the
my
apes would
god,
have
I'm
gone
buying
nuts.
them.
No, the apes would have been like, "Why hasn't it squeezed yet? The popcorn's out." Popcorn will not save you. If you're staking, putting your, if you're counting on popcorn, oh, good Lord, God help you.
I don't
50%
know why
discount.
people think this. Yeah, I don't know. Understand why people think that discount is good. If you're not attracting
Right.
more people to your theaters, if people aren't spending more money, if the same people are that were gonna go to AMC and they were gonna buy a popcorn, if it's just the same numbers, you've just slashed your revenue in half, basically.
Right. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing, like, if you have a successful business operation, you're not slashing prices. Like, you're not giving a 50% discount, more than likely. Like, if you have a good product that there is demand for, why would you why would you accept less for it? And I feel the same way about, like, oh, they have these half price movie nights or whatever, like, Tuesdays, or I don't know if it still is. Like, no, that's to try to get that's because you have low attendance. If you are trying to do a buy one get one free, or, that's what, like, discount stores do to try to get people in the door. Like, it's not because you're doing so well that you want to give a 50% discount, in other words. And this is something that the apes don't understand because they have zero business sense. They by and large, they don't understand, you know, you're not going to cut down, you're not going to give a 50% discount really unless you need to. I mean,
And
there's
you
no
can see
reason to.
that that holiday, the national whatever popcorn holiday thing, like
Yeah,
it's not just AMC that's doing it, Cinemark's doing it too. So I mean, and
right.
it's not a
National
brand
Popcorn
new
Day.
like marketing thing or PR
Right.
stunt. It's just it's been done for years.
Popcorn.org. Popcorn.org about popcorn. National Popcorn Poppin' Month is October, but National Popcorn Day is January 19th. That's kind of weird. Wonder why. Must have been taken or something. Pop popcorn festivals. They're all in September. Okay, so this is fucked up. All right, the popcorn the popcorn trade organization, or whoever runs popcorn.org. Okay, popcorn poppin' month is October. National Popcorn Day is January 19th. Every popcorn festival in the United States is in September. So two of them are in Ohio. Wow, two of them are in Ohio, two of them are in Indiana, two of them are in Illinois, and you got Iowa. Wow, heartland of the United States right there. Yay, popcorn in the great Midwest. Ticket sale. Okay, just another ape says ticket sales in 2020, 212,000 ticket sales in 2022, 813 million sold, 4x increase, only 400 million away from pre-pandemic levels. 9 billion box office coming in 2023. 9 billion. It's okay. I can't make
Yeah,
you guys see the
9 billion
value in
bucks.
AMC.
Yeah,
AMC doesn't have a fucking monopoly. Where in the fuck are you getting that? AMC does not have a monopoly. Period. No, that's not true. You're, by the way, you're only giving me AMC's numbers and you're telling me that AMC has a monopoly. Okay. Do you see the problem there?
Hmm.
How are you going to tell me that AMC has a monopoly and only give me AMC's numbers?
No,
Nonsense.
screw the monopoly. Let's look at domestic box office. 2019 over 11 billion. 2018 over 11 billion. 2017 over 11 billion.
Hmm.
If you only do 9 billion
There you
in
go.
this year 2023, you're still 2 billion below
Oh, you got to go
pre-pandemic levels.
all the way back to 2008. That's 2008 levels, by the way. And the number one release, by the way, was The Dark Knight, going way back. Yeah, no.
Does this guy have just another ape? Pull up AMC's 10Qs. The last 3 quarters, pull up their 10Q filings. Pull up the 10K filing, the annual report. Look at that. Tell me how many millions of dollars are they burning a quarter? Look at the domestic box office figures. Look at how much money they're burning. What is their approximate break-even point based on domestic box office figures? You don't know, right? I'll tell you. My calculation, it's around 10.5 to 11 billion.
So let's see here. You can get some of this stuff on TradingView, some of these statements. I don't know. I'm gonna just for now. I'm gonna assume that it's accurate. But I mean, well, wow. The trailing 12-month net income is negative 800 million. Wow. Yeah. So we don't have Q4's numbers yet, but Q3 was negative 226 million. I mean, what is this clown talking about? Like, those are not AMC's numbers. Those numbers prove that movies are here to stay. Nobody said that movies aren't here to stay. What are you talking about? You're all over the place, and you're saying that AMC has a fucking monopoly? Cineworld is in chapter 11. Yes, AMC is in full control of the exhibition business. And, go shill that shit somewhere else. Seriously. Like, no, you're fucking wrong, and you're a clown. Look at this. Look at this. You see this? Let me make it bigger so you can see. I know apes have trouble fucking reading. They really have trouble reading. Let me make it even bigger, okay? Now that's too big. Can't because I can't get it over. And I can't scroll over because whatever. Here. Look at this one. Look at this. Where is it? Net income. Okay. And by the way, if you need a refresher, net income shows how much a company earns after expenses. Net income represents the amount of money a company earns after all operating expenses, interest, taxes, dividends on preferred shares have been paid for. If net income is negative, it means that a company spent more money than it earned. In other words, they lost money. Net income shows investors if a company is profitable or not. This is like elementary. When a company can earn more than money than it spends, its net income is positive. These profits can potentially be distributed to shareholders through dividends, buybacks, or investment back into the company. Okay. Also, note that we're talking about net income here, Morantz. We're not talking about earnings per share. We're not talking about cash flow per share. We're talking about plain old net income. So just be clear on that. But if we go to the trailing 12 months, 800 million negative, 800 million. See, this is the thing that I can't stand about the fucking apes. We took the time to go through this stuff. Yet what do we get? Gaslighting. Just disregard any facts and just spew this nonsense. AMC's a monopoly. They have a exhibition business. By the way, only a fucking cocksucker, and I don't use that term very lightly or often, but only a fucking cocksucker would say the exhibition business, by the way. Okay? What are you, Adam Aaron's little bitch? The exhibition business. Oh, we're leading the charge in the exhibition business. Go fuck your exhibition business. It's a piece of shit. You know the exhibition business? That's your fucking living room. That's where the exhibition's happening. So, like these guys sound like fucking salesmen. And it's annoying because you're not listening to the facts. You're not looking at the numbers on the screen. That's all we have to go off of. You could sit there and say AMC has a monopoly, but the numbers say otherwise because the reality is, and let me verify this before I even fucking say it. Let me just verify it before I fucking say it. I'm not going to say it till I know it's true.
Madback, you read my mind. I was waiting to say that. What good is a monopoly if you can't even make a profit?
Boom! Boom! Okay, here we go. We're looking at net income, right? Yeah, we're looking at net income. Here's Cinemark. Net income for the last quarter reported is negative 24 million. Yes, it's negative, but it's a hell of a lot bit higher than negative 225 million, and the trailing 12 months is negative 164 million. I mean, doesn't that kind of say it all? Yeah. I mean, yeah, you have monopoly.
They got
It's
a monopoly on losing money faster than any
yeah,
other movie theater chain.
pretty shitty monopoly. Like that's not the kind of monopoly you want. So, yeah. I mean, mm, I mean, I don't really it's more time than I've cared to spend debating on like fucking AMC's fundamentals. I mean, and we get and finally we get to the same actual conclusion. I mean, look at the net income. It's like what 8 times lower. And look at the year-over-year growth minus minus 1.2%. Okay, so it's down slightly. And look at Cinemark's. I mean, buy fucking Cinemark instead. Look at the net income growth year over year, 68%. So no, AMC is not growing. They're stagnant as fuck, and they're losing a lot of money. Period. I mean, that's what the numbers show. That's what the numbers show. And they only have 118 million shares. So why don't you try to squeeze them? I mean, you probably have more of a shot. No, I'm not saying that seriously. Don't take that seriously. Uh, Come on, man. Like that shit is just like it doesn't even matter because they don't care about the actual facts. Hey, Model 3
Damn,
dude,
man. Oh man, that comment. I can't even read it. I'm not gonna read
I
it out
will.
loud.
I'm gonna tell Model 3 dude though, there's no basement at the Alamo. He knows what I'm talking about. Maybe you do. Were you a fan of Pee Wee Herman at all? I know I think you're about the same age as me. You were born in the 80s, right? So there's no basement at the Alamo. Okay. These blanks, whatever. These apes want to be right so bad that they refuse to accept or acknowledge reality. They make more excuses than a battered spouse. And we even had Frankie Mohammed talking about battered, um, shit, what is it called? Stockholm syndrome. A couple weeks ago, he had a video about that. He said Stockholm syndrome with Adam Aaron. We need to stop assuming that everyone else has taken even a basic business course or math, economics, logic, debate, etc. I mean, I think we can assume that they haven't, Lynn, at this point. I mean, because this shit, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, we're looking at Cinemark stock here on the screen, and it's like, okay, that looks, let's do this. I'll put AMC on this side on daily. Not ape. Oh boy, not ape. AMC. So, I mean, you you tell me. Let's zoom out a little bit more. So, you know, let's go to weekly, I guess, and get further out. So, I mean, look at the difference in these charts too. Like, it's just interesting. Like, Cinemark, Cinemark was growing throughout, like, after the great financial crisis era. Cinemark grew and basically was, trading in the, like, I don't know, 33 to 45, the 30 to 40 range, let's just say, from like 2014 all the way up until the pandemic, essentially. I mean, they were still in that range uh, in early 2020, and then the bottom fell out of it. Um, Let me make sure that my scales are reset here. Okay. AMC, on the other hand, was already declining before the pandemic. They were already in a period of decline, which is interesting because this is the period of all that growth and all that borrowing and all that shit. This is the Adam Aaron period starts here. And what happened here? And this is like 2017, 2018, late 2017. Yeah, 2017. In 2017, AMC had a fairly substantial decline. Their stock price got cut in half over that year. It did. It got cut in half from 2010 and beyond and lower. Also, Cinemark seemed to decline as well then. Some shit happened in 2017. I forget. But anyway, whatever. Then you have COVID. Here's COVID. Now, Cinemark goes from 32 to like $6. Okay, that's like a 76% decline. Okay, AMC goes from shit. I'm not even on the right area here. Whoops. AMC in the same period goes from $4. Now this is split adjusted already, so this is retarded. Okay, this is why I hate when they adjust this shit like this, because you can't talk about, okay, the stock was not $5 in 2020, but because of this stupid fucking ape thing, it says that it is. Whatever, we can still look at the percentage. So AMC went down. I'm just going to go there, about 70%. So it's about the same, right? But now what I'm trying to get to is, you know, is the fucking absurdity of 2021. The absurdity of 2021. So, yeah, Cinemark kind of was probably sympathetic a little bit here. I'm going to guess. In January, last week of January, I mean, come on. Why else would it have gone up to 27 when it was trading at like 18? That's the GameStop squeeze. Okay. But then, AMC goes wildly irrational. It goes wildly irrational. It shoots up. What? 700%, 600%, 700%. Um, and I'll share your screen on here. You want me to share your screen, or I just noticed that you had it shared.
Oh no, I'm just commenting back on some of the folks who are commenting on my videos, and
Oh, okay.
one big thing seems to be the whole Bank of America. I don't know, Bigums is preaching about it, of how, oh look, Bank of America is stealing money from people's bank accounts, and they're using that to short more AMC and some of that bullshit. Same thing Phil for real is spouting, which makes absolutely no sense.
Mhm.
I don't understand. I mean, I'm
See you,
trying to
Chris.
search for it, but I don't see any claims saying that, oh hey, Zelle is they're taking extra payments. The whole article is saying that, hey, Zelle had an issue with Bank of America with like sending and receiving payments. So yeah, some of those funds you might have not been shown on your account. Maybe they
Mm,
posted, but hey, maybe they have to roll back some transactions due to some little technical snafu in the data. That
right.
doesn't mean that Bank of America is stealing money out of clients'
Oh
accounts
God,
to to give them liquidity so that they can short AMC some more.
that is
Like, what the
ridiculous.
fuck?
That's
Like, what are
ridiculous.
they
That
smoking?
sounds like some
It
AMC
makes
Bigums
no
shit.
freaking sense.
Yeah, everything is about AMC, and this is what happens when you work to change things. This is what happens when you're so focused on something like this. Everything, and it's a flaw in thinking. It's a flaw in logic where you're so focused on this, hyper focused on it, that everything starts to you see everything through that lens. I'm sorry, apes, but no, everything is not about AMC. Like the market crash was supposedly because of AMC. Uh, this and that thing about AMC. All these scandal FTX. The reason FTX collapsed was because of AMC. I mean, we've heard it all. No, no. AMC is one of 8,000 stocks that trades in the United States. It's not even the most heavily shorted stock. Like, because the only thing that I care about is data that's represented, that's available. So you could sit there and say naked short. Oh, well, you're not counting for the quintillions of naked shorts. No, I'm not, because there's no evidence for that. Zero evidence for naked shorts in AMC or GameStop or any of these stocks. I mean, I'm sorry, there isn't. There's no evidence. So, I mean, like most shorted stocks, you look at the most shorted stocks, like based on the exchange reported data. Um, Carvana is at the top. Like Carvana has 86% short interest, according to this Benzinga. You know,
Hold on,
with
what?
according to Benzinga,
I don't
updated
think they're using the right
updated
figures for
January
that.
11th, 2023, and I don't know if that was actually a short interest reporting date. I don't think it was. Maybe it was. No, it couldn't have been. It's every 2 weeks. Bed Bath and Beyond, 58%. Um,
No, Carvana's closer to like 64%. I hate when these
I
are
know.
using some.
Yeah.
Are they using more of that Ortex live short interest data?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Let's see if I can do Carvana, um, Vortex, Twitter. I mean, sometimes you can find it. I can just go to Twitter and search for CVNA Vortex. Carvana builds on yesterday's momentum and extends gains, currently up 9%. Short interest continues to rise and is now 55 million, 65% of free float. Okay, so that's probably the live, whatever. Benzinga probably has like something. Well, it says it was from the 11th. So, I mean, let's see if I can get something from the 11th here. I mean, they have 12th. It says 62%. So I don't know. Yeah. Okay. So we can't trust that. I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, what makes Ortex more, you know, more, more valid? We have two different numbers, and I don't know. It's probably somewhere in the middle. But um, Anyway, AMC is like, what does it say? Here it says, I mean, depends on where you look. Here it says 22. If you go here, though, it says 21.97 versus 22.09. I don't know why it's different on each page, but it is. It didn't change from current to 7 days ago. It did not change at all. It changed by 0.01%. 1 basis point, if you want to be all fancy. There's literally, you know, a few more shares on loan. Cost to borrow is increased. Utilization is the same. Days to cover is the same. The short interest value has increased a little bit. Like 22%. I mean, okay, maybe the Carvana one is, or the, sorry, the Benzinga, Carvana, whatever. It's all bullshit names. Highshortinterest.com. They're saying 58 on here. So that's more in line probably. But still, Hacks Medica, 61. Bed Bath & Beyond, 50. Beyond Meat, 39. Upstart Holdings, 39. MicroStrategy, 36. Novavax, 35. I mean, these are way more shorted. Cinemark, 22.84. Cinemark Holdings, 22.84. Nordstrom, 22.87. AMC's not even on this list, but oh yeah, it is. It's right there.
They
22.
are. Yeah, they are.
22%. Okay. So 22, that's exactly in line with what Ortex says today on the Ortex guy. But here's what I want to say. All these stocks, they're not all going to squeeze. This does not mean that these will be short squeeze stocks. It just means that they're shorted heavily. But that doesn't mean that they're going to squeeze.
What? You mean to tell me Bed Bath Beyond, a company that's about to file bankruptcy, is not going to squeeze?
Well, okay,
Darn
maybe
it.
that one will. Maybe that one will. You got me on that one. Dude, I played so many puts on that back in like the last fall, I think it was. I just randomly was like, I think I'm gonna buy Bed Bath & Beyond puts. Did really well on them actually. Yeah. It was back over here. No, not there. I'm on weekly.
I bought puts on Mullen.
Really? Do they have options?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Damn.
After going through their 10K, I was like, and I read some more of their 8Ks, I was like, you know what? This company is absolutely
Oh,
screwed. So
they
I bought
haven't
some
built
puts today on Mullen.
they're the ones who haven't built a damn thing, right? We talked
Yeah.
about them.
No
Wow.
vehicle until like end of 2024.
Hmm.
They still got a year before they develop a freaking car.
Oh, right. And they may not ever develop. They may not ever actually produce one, right?
Yep.
Something like that. Oh yeah, that's right. I was gonna. Yeah, unfortunately, like
The
these.
CEO's like he's like Adam Aaron, gave himself a nice fat bonus as the company's burning millions of dollars every quarter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. These options are fucking weird. Like the lowest strike is 50 cents, and it's trading at 28 cents. So you don't really have much. You have to buy quite a few of them. Wait a minute.
Yeah, they're super cheap options. I
As
bought.
I see
Let's
that, yeah.
see. I bought the
The
50-cent
IV though.
strike
Oh.
for April.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the IV is jacked, but yeah, I bought them
It's
for
better in
April.
April. Yeah,
So
it's better in April. Yeah, but still, like, I think I actually looked at these actually now that you say this, because yeah, I did. I saw the IV and I was like, oh God. Then you have to go out to like, I don't know if you went out to Jan 2024 or 25. There's no way this company's going to be around that long. Are you kidding me? I don't see it. But I mean, you know more about it than I do. But
they're just gonna dilute the shit out of it, and stock price
right.
is gonna continue to fall. And they got a delisting notice, I think. So reverse split, and it's gonna get shorted down again.
How many contracts did you buy at 50 cents here? The 50-cent strikes. And how much? Do you remember how much you paid?
I think I only paid like 20 something cents per. Oh, yeah, I started with 5.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's 28 cents now, according to this. It says that there's about 2,000 of them open. Yeah, it might be something to look into. I mean,
I got bored and I was like, you know what? I did some minor DD. I looked at the 10K. I looked at the 10Qs and some 8Ks, and I know that this company is shit.
yeah.
And you can look at all the people on Reddit, on YouTube. They're hyping it. Oh, this is a great company. I'm
Oh
like,
God,
have
yeah.
you looked at how much money they're fucking burning? They don't
Like,
produce a single vehicle yet, so they
yeah,
got
it's
no freaking
ridiculous.
revenue. And you're telling me this is your next Tesla? Give
I
me a
saw that you,
fucking break.
I saw that you busted stocks and crypto plays on this. Didn't you on this halted twice or whatever?
Yeah,
Did you
I
do
just
a
covered
video?
this in today's video. And
Okay, yeah.
it's so easy. It's easy to call bullshit like that.
That's
Just check
so
the
so
NYSE website.
ridiculous.
They tell you exact, and you can check historically when stocks were halted.
Yep, yep.
And he's
It's
saying,
true.
"Oh,
Yeah.
AMC was halted." Give me a break.
Yeah. Oh my
Same
God.
dude, dumbass. I was pumping Party City, Mullen.
I wonder if he deleted that
I think
video.
I just need to do it inverse. No,
Hey,
he
Frank.
didn't. At least as of like an hour ago.
There it is. Oh my God.
Hey friends, welcome to Stocks and Crypto Plays. Today I'm talking
Just
to you
do it
about Party
inverse.
City,
Inverse of whatever he
PRTY.
says. I think
Yahoo
you'll make
Finance
money.
just
He's like
came
an
out with
inverse
a
Kramer,
new headline
except
that says meme
stupider.
stocks, Bed Bath and Beyond, Party City surge despite business risks. They show.
I mean, he even had an article right here that says that they surged despite business risks. And then Party City is now Chapter 11 and delisted. Like they're not going to be, I don't know. I don't think they're going to be trading tomorrow on the exchange.
Yeah, they've been
They,
halted and they're in the delisting process. So
yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
46% today, and
cash is pouring
BBPY up.
in. Really? He said that same thing for AMC. Cash is pouring in. You mean
Yeah.
cash is pouring out? They
Cash is
burn in
pouring in.
millions of
Right.
dollars every
Right.
quarter.
I mean, look at all these. Is there any stores still open? Yes, they didn't close them. Well, hmm. Yeah, not as of 6 days ago, but Party City is way cheaper. By that alone, it'll make us all more money. This is their comments on this video. Like these clowns are leading people to fucking ruin. It's crazy. Um, I think this will run with all the memes. Yeah, run to the downside to the fucking bankruptcy court. It'll run to the
Oh,
bankruptcy
that
court.
that same clown was bashing me on my videos, saying I was
Oh,
wrong.
really?
Yep,
2788 E Buffalo.
788. Yep.
What the hell? I am buying more PRTY. Let's make this rock. We have a chance to recoup our losses from
Our
AMC.
losses
Oh
from
my
AMC.
God. Oh my God. Wow. Well, sorry, RW, but you got fucked. You got oh, imagine that. You got you followed some fucking retards into AMC, overinvested by a lot, and the price went down, and then you followed another retard into another shit stock that is now even worse. It's Chapter 11 delisted off the exchange. You lost all your money. That's a sign that you should probably not be in the market or maybe go index funds or something. Like, wow, that's crazy. AMC 2.0, Party has a 47 million cap and AMC has 2.7 billion. Party still had almost triple the volume of AMC. I mean, that just goes to show you right there. Hey, doesn't matter how popular it is. If the fucking company sucks, you're fucked. Like you cannot get around the fundamentals at the end of the day. I don't understand how people don't realize that at this point. You can't get around that shit. Yeah, you can trade some irrational bullshit for a while, but ultimately the fundamentals are going to win out.
I'm just looking at Party City's most recent 10Q, and I'm like, how could you think this company would be great? Like, it's absolutely insane.
I remember going in a Party City like, I don't know, 2010 or 11, and it looked like there was nobody in the store. and it looked like they were going out of business then, to be honest. So I didn't even realize they were still open, to be honest. But that's
They did 502 million in net sales last quarter. Their
huh?
net their net loss
Wow,
was what? 373 million?
what? Oh my God, that's pretty shitty. Um,
They ended the quarter with only what what is that? $290,000 in cash and cash equivalents? This company was at hold on. No, hold on. Yeah, they had no money cash on hand.
wow.
Long-term debt. On long-term obligations, their liabilities. Yeah, they had a lot of liabilities coming up.
Hmm.
This company was burning hand over fist, burning all that money.
um, yeah. Here's okay. So here's my copyright infringement for the night, and then I gotta get off here and go to bed. I gotta get up in 3 hours. Shit.
Oh
We're,
shit.
well, about 4 hours. That's all right. I get up at 4:45. Anyway, here's the
I wish I could tell you that the Monopoly guy fought the good fight and the sisters let him be. I wish I could tell you that. But prison is no fairy tale world.
that's from Bad Back for the apes, for the guy who thought that the Monopoly would save him. And then I've got here here's my sign off for my
Yeah, that's
last
it.
video.
All right, so thanks Nicholas, thanks Nick for tuning in, and I think that if there's a couple other viewers too, thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It's nice to have people tuning in for this, but it's just yeah, I hope you had a good time, and hope maybe see you on the next stream as well. But otherwise, thanks for tuning in, and have a nice night. Cheers. Now I got to learn how to. This is my first time ending a stream. I don't even know how to end the stream. I think I just click end stream over here. I don't know, but let's see. Or do I stop on my OBS? I use OBS. Do I stop on OBS first? I'll probably just do end stream.
I don't know why I never thought to use this before. That's a pretty good sign off because it's Heath Gill. Uh, anyway, let's see. Yep. So we
Don't
got
worry about the federal debt.
huh?
I was just reacting to Lid.
Oh, oh. Oh, no, they'll take care of that. They always do. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
bullshit. It's total bullshit.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, everyone. It's just, yeah, that it's so stupid. It's so dumb. Like, anyway, finance chat link is in the description. Thanks, Shadow Stars, for chatting with me tonight. I always enjoy talking to you. So, um, it's good to have to get through this shit. It's so absurd. It's good to have, someone to laugh about this shit with. So thanks. And
Thanks for having me on, man.
anytime. So, all right, I'll catch you later. Have a good one. And everybody else, I don't know if there might be a couple other people watching. Cheers, everybody. Have a good night. Now I got to figure out how to stop this stream. Just click stop stream or do it in OBS. All right. Cheers, everybody.